So all of your Solent sport right the way through to late on your smart speaker and BBC Sounds. And in the cricket, Hampshire at Trent Bridge, Nottinghamshire 59 for 5 in their second innings. They lead Hampshire by 196 runs with 5 wickets remaining. And just on your smart speaker, just ask it to say BBC Sounds playing Nottinghamshire v Hampshire Day 2. Also available on the BBC Sport app. And there's loads of BBC Sounds reaction from Southampton to come. Interim boss Simon Rusk, he'll be a relief man. That'll be going up later. Going home with Adam and Joe, our latest episode as part of our BBC Sound series, and a player. It's all to come on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Hello, I'm Ian Wilding. We'll get previewing this game in a few minutes' time. Let's go straight back to St Mary's Stadium where Joe Tessam is. Joe, can you quite believe it?
From the performance, yes, I can. I think they deserved something out of this today. They worked so hard, and it was so good. It's so good timing by you, Ian Wilding. You should give me a pat on the shoulder for that interview with Glenn Cockrell, because he just pointed out the right thing for their football game and what we saw today. And it is work rate, his passion, and all those things. And I think if you play for Southampton and you do those things, the fans will appreciate that. They will see it, even if you lose. They will see that. And I have to say, 12 points, it's not a good season, don't get me wrong, but we're not the worst team in the history of Premier League football, and that is so important.
I'll have to get Glenn Cockrell on again next Friday, I think, Joe, and see if he can inspire us for the Everton game at the weekend.
Yeah, he can get him on and he can sing, and he has so much knowledge about football, you know, and his experience, and you can see what he sees is what we all see in a way, and it is true. If you want to win football games, you got to work your socks off, and that comes first in football, even in the Premier League. And they deserved it. They defended, they doubled up, they saw the dangerous area, especially with Doku coming on there. Every player stepped into the roles. There were some few shaky moments, but you are going to have a few shaky moments. But when you defend like that, and that crucial tackle by Joe Reba on O'Reilly when he came into the box and had a touch and could have had a next one to shoot, that is fantastic. And that's a player that hasn't played for a while, but they all chipped in. Suleiman up front, the work rate he put down today was absolutely fantastic, and we've got to point that, we've got to celebrate this point, because it's so important, and not have that stamp on you. And I think I'm going to start betting against Adam Blackmore, by the way, because when we went to Leicester, he was sure we're going to get a point, and today he was like, we're going to lose 5. I think when he says something, we go against it.
Go the opposite. Yeah, I don't blame you, Joe, to be honest. This one here says, who on earth are Derby County, as the Saints go marching on? And John Inisi says, who would have thought 0-0 would be the best result of the season? And I mean, really, Joe, you hear the crowd. It's fantastic to hear the crowd in full voice, because they've had absolutely nothing to cheer all season.
It was magical when they started singing in the end, and the players needed that support as well. It was positive, and you can feel that when you're on the pitch. But it was absolutely fantastic, and the sound barrier went through the roof on the stadium. I know there's no roof here, but you know what I mean. It's fantastic, and this is what they've been waiting for, something like this to happen. And we all been voting, rooting for getting away from that 11-point mark. We don't want to share it. We wanted to get away, and that's the relief that everyone had when the final whistle went.
Well, elsewhere in the Premier League today, Fulham 1, Everton 3, Ipswich 0, Brentford 1, and Wolves 0, Brighton 2. It means that Bournemouth go into this game this evening in 10th with 53 points, 2 points behind Brighton and Brentford, a chance to move back up to 8th. But Fulham, their Europa League hopes look all but over now in 11th with 51 points from 36 games. Saints are up to 12 points. Martin Hanks has got in touch as well, Joe, saying, finally off that mark, unwanted worst team in Premier League history. Hopefully we should now avoid conceding 100 goals as well, says Martin. But really, after that Leicester game and what happened in that match, Joe, you felt maybe that was the last opportunity. So it's come as a real surprise, hasn't it? Especially with Everton away to come next week, and then Arsenal at home to end it.
Well, we thought maybe that against Man City was fighting for the Champions League place. Here it's going to be too tough, and then the last game at Goodison Park. So we started thinking those way. Arsenal is still up there to secure their place. They probably are secure, but football it's possibilities, and I think the after Fulham, we kind of fell apart because we had a good kind of game but lost it, and Fulham deserved to win it. And I think that mental kind of situation after a loss like that didn't help us towards the Leicester game, and I think that performance came on the back of that loss against Fulham at home. And I think it's natural, it happens in football, and sometimes you can explain it like that. And the intensity we had against Leicester was poor, but today it was absolutely full on, and boring and dull is actually quite good.
And for you, Joe, and for everybody else, and nice for you now to be able to enjoy your evening, because you can't have many of those on a Saturday night this season. You can actually breathe out a bit after today.
Yeah, I do get frustrated when we've been watching a lot of bad football games, and when you sit and you support a football club and you keep losing, it's frustrating. It's painstaking. It is hard to watch Saints play. But today it kind of took a lot of that away because we passed that 11-point mark, and that helps. And the atmosphere was fantastic, I gotta say.
Well, Goldie says negative tactics, but we got the point we needed. Had no ambition to win the game, but defence versus attack today, and defence won. Well done, Saints today, says Goldie. 81333 on the text if you're a Saints or a Cherries fan looking ahead to the 5:30, which we'll preview imminently. 81333, Solent your first word, and WhatsApp Solent your first word, 08000 321 333 at Solent Sport on X. And talking of your evening, Joe, looking forward now to going home with Adam and Joe this evening. I hope Glenn Cockrell gets another mention there for his inspired chat yesterday in this episode tonight.
Yeah, if we can squeeze Glenn Cockrell, we should have had him in the van. I'm in Adam Blackmore's moving van at the moment, so we're gonna make it from hopefully not from the back of the van, but we could bring Glenn Cockrell with us. That would be good fun if we could do that one day. But yeah, he's spot on there, Glenn Cockrell, because that is what it is all about. Football, you got to work hard. Hard work. Football isn't just skills, it's the hard work, the craftsmanship of working hard and running and winning challenges, winning headers, tackles, all those things. And Glenn Cockrell was really good at, but he was also a very good football player.
I've just got images of that sofa in the back there with you two in the front of that van on the way back to the office there in Adam's removal van. But just one more, Joe, before you go. Everton away next week. That's one to, you can look forward to that now, because Everton, it's a big occasion for them. I say, well, look forward to it as much as you can in Saints' position, but going into that game now with perhaps a little bit more freedom, having got that bit of a monkey off the back.
Oh, I think there's a big load of weight coming off the players' shoulders with this result. I think that 11-point mark has been hanging over them like a big black cloud for a long time, and you're right. I still hope we can go there and upset the farewell to Goodison Park. It's going to be an absolutely amazing occasion, and see it out, because it is a special occasion. And sometimes I'm lucky because I get to work and go there and be part of it, because it is a special occasion when you move from such a traditional stadium up at Liverpool, and Goodison Park it's been I don't know, it's over 130-40 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is special.
Great stuff, Joe. Thanks a lot for today. Joe Tessem, our Saints summariser, can enjoy his evening a little bit more now with that point. Southampton 0, Manchester City 0, as Saints move on to 12 points. Means Derby continue to have that unwanted record outright from their 2007-2008 campaign. Andy Rogers says, still awful to watch, doesn't improve anything for me. Derek Scully, oh happy days, it's been a long time coming. So, Saints get the point. Can Bournemouth get the 3 points? They host Aston Villa here, just over 20 minutes to kick off, and we'll preview that in depth next on the home of live sport across the south.
Rick Jackson.
It's Worst Joke Wednesday, and let's start off with Justine, because we know you like a good joke.
When do dogs stop barking? When they pause for thought.
You can WhatsApp a joke as well, and you can do that voice note thing, can't you?
Be careful with it though, because once I sent a message and I speeded myself up and nobody could understand what the message was. So do be careful, folks.
Oh, love it. Tell your joke at double speed. That'll be brilliant.
Rick Jackson. Weekdays from 2. Listen on your smart speaker. Just say, play BBC Radio Solent. Ian Wilding.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
We'll bring you some Saints reaction at half-time into this game at Bournemouth, all going up on BBC Sounds with Simon Rusk, interim boss and a player. And if you hit subscribe and you have your push notifications turned on, you'll be notified when something new becomes available. And if you search Southampton, Bournemouth or Portsmouth on BBC Sounds, you get all of our content. We'll get reaction for the first time, or preview in a second, from John Williams, our Cherry summariser. But first, Jordan Clark can bring us those teams in full.
Thanks, Waldo. 3 changes then. Andoni Iraola makes to the win away at Arsenal last weekend. Adam Smith returns it right back, 15 years on from making his Bournemouth debut while on loan from Tottenham. Here at this very stadium, he makes his 400th appearance for the club, an incredible achievement for the 34-year-old. Alex Scott comes in at number 10 with top goal scorer Justin Kluivert dropped to the bench, has scored just once since January, Justin Kluivert. And Antoine Semenyo back in from the start, rested, dropped, whatever you're calling it, last weekend away at Arsenal. Dongo Ouattara is the man that misses out through injury. Looks like his season may well be done and dusted. Bournemouth, Kepa in goal. Adam Smith, Ilya Zabani, Dean Howson and Milos Kerkez the back four from right to left. Tyler Adams alongside Lewis Cook in midfield. Alex Scott in the 10. Semenyo and Marcus Tavernier, the 2 wide men. And Evan Nilsson leading the Bournemouth line, just 1 goal away from equalling Justin Kluivert's 13 and moving level as Bournemouth's top goal scorer for the season. The Bournemouth bench: Julian Araujo, Marcos Senesi, David Brooks, Justin Kluivert, Julio Soler, Daniel Jefferson, James Hill. Young Ben Winterburn returns to the matchday squad, and Will Dennis is the substitute goalkeeper. There are 4 changes for Aston Villa to the side that beat Fulham 1-0 last time out, with some big names dropping to the bench today. In come first of all former Bournemouth defender Tyrone Mings, Luca Dean at right back, Amadou Onana in midfield and Jacob Ramsey on the wing. Pal Torres, Ian Matson and John McGinn dropped to the bench today. Yuri Tillemans is out of the squad completely due to injury. Villa, like Bournemouth, a 4-2-3-1 in formation. Martinez in goal, Matty Cash, Esri Concert, Tyrone Mings and Luca Dean, the back 4 from right to left. Boubacar Kamara alongside Amadou Onana in midfield. Marco Asensio in the number 10. Jacob Ramsey and Morgan Rogers, the 2 wide men, with Ollie Watkins up front through the middle. The Villa bench: Disasi, Torres, Matson, Garcia, Barkley, Bailey, Mallon, McGinn and Olsen.
Thanks, Clarky. All of this game available for you. Smart speaker sounds, all Solent frequencies. Let's bring in John Williams, ex-Bournemouth defender and assistant manager. Willow, before we get onto this game, obviously after you announced your retirement at the end of the Arsenal game, at the end of the season, you know, hundreds of messages have come in on social media. You know, just a couple here. Willow's an absolute legend from Russ. It won't be the same without him. This one, a great man. I named my first dog Willow after him. So that's quite some going. And we've got another one here from Richard Stagg, who's calling for a minute's applause for the Leicester game last match. So, I mean, you'll do well to get one of those. You know, you are still alive, Willow, so that would be quite something. But, yeah, terrific. You must make you very emotional hearing all of those messages.
Yeah, lovely times here, nothing but good memories. And I just hope we can finish it off by getting a result here today. You know, the changes they've made, I really think they help us. I mean, McGinn for one is someone I admire immensely, and I just think we can get about them. Why he's done all the changes and only is up to him, I'm not quite sure, but it's all about us and keeping this little six results going. You know, and I think we can do it today.
That's what it's all about, Willow, isn't it? A game like this today, 3 games to go, drop to 10th, a chance to move back up to 8th, but it's going to be electric, this atmosphere this evening.
It's going to be fantastic. You know, the opportunity to go 8th is just what we're after. I mean, a couple of the results, the Brighton one didn't quite go our way, I thought, but yeah, there's room for us in that top 8, and I'm sure we can put on a performance today that will just give us that little edge on the running. I know that you know, when you've been in that sort of run that the lads have produced with the 6 results, I just think that an awful lot of confidence is going through the side at the moment, and that's why I feel we can get a result here today, a win even.
It's been a big day on Solent Sports. Southampton drawing 0-0 at home to Manchester City to move past the dreaded 11-point mark and up to 12. This one here, Bournemouth against Aston Villa, is 15 minutes kickoff away. So big team news, as we've heard there from Clarkey. Adam Smith making his 400th appearance today. Incredible stuff. 8th Cherries player to reach that milestone. And Andoni Iraola says it's a rare thing in modern football for a player to spend so long at one club.
You have to be very consistent, very robust, very reliable. At the end, we are talking about big numbers. Imagine, even if you play 40 games a year, you need 10 seasons to get to 400. So you have to be also lucky with the injuries. He's in a place where he can add more games to that good number. And for me, it has been a pleasure to have him. As a captain, as a player, he's someone who understands always what the team needs. He puts the team needs in front of their individual needs, I would say, and this is, as a manager, something that you value a lot. Yes.
Let's bring back our commentary team to talk about Adam Smith. Willow, 2014 he arrived from Tottenham Hotspur, and to get 400 league appearances for one club, as we were saying, nowadays it's very rare, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great feat, and he's a great lad. The fact that he's become captain just shows what the dressing room think about him, and Andoni thinks about him as well. And like you say, it's hard to get that many games in it nowadays. Not, in the past, perhaps people could do it. They stayed at the same club, but he's certainly a one-off, and a real credit to the Bournemouth Football Club.
What does it tell you, Jordan, about his character? Players have come and they've gone, lots of right-back positions. That competition, we've seen it change again in the summer, but he's been a constant.
Yeah, he has been, and they've often brought players in who you've dealt with maybe take over the role, and they just haven't been able to nudge him out of the way. It felt that way with Araujo at the start of the season, and Smith just got better and better. Last season, Max Aarons was brought in. He thought is the next man to take on the role of right back, and Adam Smith would step back a little bit, and Smith just refused to let it happen, and he's just got better and better. I think vitally in the last few years in particular as well, his experience in that dressing room has been so important, because this team's been getting younger and younger, and there's been fewer players here. You look around and think they know about the club, they know what it's about, they know its history. Lewis Cook you chuck into that mould. Adam Smith, for that reason, I think has been really important. And the other thing, and we've spoken about it before in the past, is that he lives away from his family to play for this football club. They live back in North London still, I think, up that way. Young family, so he doesn't see them as much as I know he would like to. But he loves playing for Bournemouth so much that he stayed with the club for so long. He had obviously that short loan spell from Tottenham beforehand, where he made his debut, and then came back and signed permanently for Eddie Howe, and helped get Bournemouth up to the Premier League, and hasn't looked back since, really. Absolute stalwart. And yeah, I mean, I think the way you look at him physically, he's got plenty more seasons in him, Adam Smith, and you wonder what number he could get himself up to. So you said there he's the 8th player, so 400 plus appearances for Bournemouth. Willow's old teammate Paul Morrell is up over 400. James Hayter, Keith Miller, Ray Bumstead, Sean O'Driscoll, another one of Willow's former teammates, yeah. Neil Young, and then you've got Steve Fletcher right up there. I think he'll take some catching, Big Fletch. He's up and towards 700, I think, off the top of my head. But yeah, he's making his way up that list, and yeah, I think he's still got a lot more to give, Adam Smith. Yeah,
you can see the body language on the pitch is immense. I know a couple of games ago, him and Cookie had a falling out and they were at it with one another, but at the end of the day, I seen them afterwards giving each other a hug, and that's the way it should be. If you're going to give somebody a G up, and let's be honest, it's necessary now and again when you're out on that pitch. They've got to be able to take it and get on with the game and get on with their performance.
They're business partners now, so they can't afford to fall out. They've got their barber shop, haven't they? So they have to remain friends.
I don't think I'll need to go there.
Not anytime soon. So, talking of the team news then, with just over 10 minutes to kick off here at Vitality Stadium, Dongo Watara has been ruled out of today's game with an adductor injury he suffered in the win at Arsenal last weekend, but Andoni Iraola says it's unlikely he will play again this season.
Yes, definitely it's a big blow for us. I think Dango was in a great moment, confidence-wise. I think he was helping us a lot in different positions. But you have to deal with these things, no? in the Premier League, and I think it's gonna be very difficult. He plays one more minute because we are talking about 3 weeks, and he has a proper adductor injury, and he's normally very fast to recover from injuries, but I think it's gonna be difficult this time.
So just the 3 games to go then with our commentary team here. I'm Ian Wilding with Jordan Clark and John Williams, but Willow, nonetheless, with 3 big games, that's tough to hear that news.
Yes, it is, but that's the nature of the game nowadays, isn't it? You know, there's so many hamstrings and thigh injuries, all related to the pace of the game. You know, you get all the best medical equipment, but listen, they'll need it because of the coverage of the grass. They run so hard and so fast for long periods. Yeah, I greatly admire the way the lads look after their bodies, and they look after their performances as well.
And Bobby B. Smith says will be massively missed. Amazing for us this season. Can see he just wants to play ball. Jordan, the thing is, you know, it's nothing they've not dealt with before, the Cherries, going into some really big games against top sides. You know, injury-wise, they were certainly in a lot worse position in sort of January, February time.
Yeah, they were, but I hope not, but I do worry it's going to be a really costly injury for the Cherries, because he's been really good recently. All season, he's played in those different roles up front. But when he's got his wingers available, he gets that impact then that he wants off the bench in the wide positions, and he loses Watara again now. He still hasn't got Sinistera back. So they don't have that. We saw what a difference it can make when Semenyo came on away at Arsenal, and I appreciate it was the throw-in that got the goal, but it's just the impact he has on the pitch as well against tired legs. And you've got the likes of Watara, who has been starting recently, but coming off the bench, or a Semenyo or a Sinistera. We've seen it earlier on this season. They cause the opposition so many problems. He just hasn't got that available at the moment. Maybe why he's thought about dropping Justin Kluivert today, so he's got one of them big impact attacking fast high intensity players to come off the bench. But I do worry it will cost them over these last 3 games, and I think that's something the recruitment team and Simon Francis really need to look at over the summer, is more resilience in their wingers, because it is such a huge part, as I keep saying, of the way Andoni Iraola wants to play. And for large parts of this season they've been without Sinistera. Marcus Tavernier's had multiple injuries. Now they lose Dongo Watara. Semenyo, the only one really who's been ever present and constantly fit. They need all 4 there all the time. So yeah, you hope it's not going to cost them too much, but it does impact that second half of the match and those players who can come off the bench.
Because that's the thing, Willow, they were just starting to show, weren't they? Maybe we were slightly worried in March, April that the legs are going slightly, but that Arsenal performance last week proved, you know, they kind of got the mojo back, and having players off the bench. So it's come at a bad time in that sense, because you just feel like they're kind of going. Yeah. They were kind of going back to the first half of the season where the impact players are making an impact.
I know what you're saying, but it goes with the game, and that's, you know, one person's downfall is somebody else's success, and the lads have come in. Maybe wouldn't have been on the starting team sheet, but you know, when they have come in, they've done fantastic jobs. It's been a real credit. I think it's down to a team spirit that they have from within, because I spoke about this and then remember with Tony Pulis, that the lads nowadays accept whether they're going to be on the bench much better than we ever did. You know, in our time it was like an absolute disgrace if you were pulled off or you're substitute and you come back on. But it's not the way with these boys now. They understand it's a squad game, they understand there's injuries, and that's all down to team spirit.
Just looking at Arsenal as well, Willow, that win at Arsenal, just how good a win, you know, looking back and reflecting on it, and psychologically as well, to get that 3 points going into Aston Villa. All of a sudden lose to Arsenal. This one looks really intimidating. If you get the win, it's a different kind of kettle of fish, isn't it, looking into this game today?
Yes, it is. I mean, the Arsenal result was absolutely out of this world. You know, you never quite dreamed in my days that we'd be going there and winning games. I mean, Aston Villa come here today, they know they're going to have a real tough test from this Bournemouth team. I just hope we get off to the sort of start we did at Arsenal. I loved the way we pressed immediately. 20 minutes or so they had a little spell, that's to be expected, but ultimately it was, well, one of the performances of the season, if not the best.
And Clarkey, one more before we cross over to you both for the commentary. What are you expecting from Villa this evening? Because they've had another, pretty decent season as well, although the expectation's rising for Villa now, isn't it, year by year?
Yeah, it is, and they are still banging the hunt for Champions League football, so I think that tells you everything you can expect from them today. And the run that they're on at the moment, they have won 6 of their last 7 in the Premier League. The only anomaly in that was a 2-1 defeat to Man City, which they lost in the 93rd minute. So they are banging form and have turned things around, really, and been quite poor in the Premier League between September and February. I think just 6 in 21, 6 wins in 21 games through that period. Maybe they were focusing on the Champions League during that time, which of course they've done really well. They've made changes today, some big names on the bench. That's still a really strong Aston Villa side. They're going to be really difficult. Bournemouth have got a good record against them here, unbeaten in their last 3, and they'll come into it full of confidence after Arsenal, and they'll know the results. They'll have seen the wins for Brentford and Brighton. They've got to win today. They have to win, they have to go again. They just can't afford to slip up.
The players emerge. It's been quite an afternoon on Solent Sports. Saints with a shock 0-0 draw at home to Manchester City, moving them off the 11-point mark. Simon Russ, the interim boss, will hear from at half-time. We'll bring you some player reaction later as well. All going up on BBC Sounds. Nick says, I was frustrated as everyone else last week with a dire performance and what we served up this season, but the way Rusk was lamented for bringing off a player last week was poor. Our fans need to realise at some point we won't agree with every decision the manager makes. And this Cherries fan says, just want to say thanks to Willow from up here in the Steve Fletcher North Stand. Good work, big man. All the best, says this message. A reminder, Hampshire cricket right now against Nottinghamshire. Nottinghamshire right now lead by 221 runs in their second innings, 84 for 6 after Hampshire all out for 196 in their first innings. Commentary on BBC Sounds and the smart speaker, just ask it to say BBC Sounds play Nottinghamshire v Hampshire day 2. They've got about another hour of play to go, but our 6-hour bumper sports show continues right now at Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth against Aston Villa, a huge game for both. Your commentary team on smart speaker sounds and all Solent frequencies, John Williams and Jordan Clark.
Thanks, Waldo. There is already a big atmosphere inside the Vitality Stadium for a huge game in which Bournemouth need another big performance and result. John Williams' beloved Everton have done the Cherries a favour earlier on today, coming from a goal down to beat Fulham 3-1, but wins for Brentford and Brighton away at Ipswich and Wolves respectively mean Bournemouth are back down to 10th. A win against Aston Villa today, aside themselves trying to get themselves back in amongst the Champions League places, would lift Bournemouth back up to 8th with 2 games to go. The Cherries have just been led out onto the pitch by their captain Adam Smith, making his 400th appearance for the club today, joining an exclusive club of Cherries legends along with Paul Morrell, James Hayter, Keith Miller, Ray Bumstead, Sean O'Driscoll, Neil Young and Steve Fletcher to all pull on the red and black kit 400 and more times, and his experience will be vital out there today. There are 3 changes in total. He comes back in at right back. There is also Alex Scott in at the number 10 position, with top goal scorer Justin Kluivert dropping to the bench, and Anton Semenyo back in from the start, with Dongo Watara out of the squad completely due to injury and probably not going to be seen again for the rest of the season. 4 changes for Aston Villa. Former Bournemouth defender Tyrone Mings comes in at centre-back, Luca Dean at left-back, Onana in midfield and Jacob Ramsey on the ring. Torres, Matson, Tielemans and McGinn drop out of their side. Tielemans out of the squad completely due to injury. I'll run the two teams in for a moment, but already maybe something that'll just unnerve John Williams a little bit alongside me. Aston Villa have won the toss and they've turned the teams around, so Bournemouth are going to shoot towards the north stand in the first half, which they would normally prefer to do in the second. Willow, how are you feeling about that?
You know, that sort of thing never really bothered me. I understand superstitions, I had plenty of them myself, but the one about going that way or the other way doesn't make no difference to me as long as we win.
That pleases me to hear. Bournemouth red and black tops, black shorts, black socks. They'll shoot from our right to left from our commentary position in this main stand towards the Steve Fletcher North stand in the first half. Aston Villa change kit, all white, top shorts and socks from our left to right towards the Ted McDougall South stand as referee Stuart Atwell gets us underway at Vitality Stadium, and Bournemouth launch it high straight into the Villa box to try and cause some chaos. Emiliano Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper, plucks it out of the sky and just kills any pressure there might have been from that routine that Bournemouth have done on a couple of times already this season. And Martinez drops it to the deck, and Evan Nilsson's on him immediately, but he manages to clear up towards halfway. Willow,
he is so dangerous with it when goalkeepers have the ball on their feet.
Do the two teams in full view in a moment. Bournemouth have it over on the right. In the sunshine here, blue skies overhead. They win it back high through Alex Scott and then Tavernier. But Stuart Atwell says no, free kick to Villa. Bournemouth, Kepper in goal, 4-2-3-1. Smith, Zabani, Howson and Kirkes the back four from right to left. Tyler Adams alongside Lewis Cook in midfield. Alex Scott in the 10. Semenyo and Tavernier, the two wide men. Evan Nilsson leading the line. Bournemouth's bench, Rojo Senesi celebrating his 28th birthday today, Marcos Senesi. Brooks, Cliver, Soler, Jefferson, Hill, Winterburn and Dennis. Villa, Martinez in goal, Cash, Conser, Mings and Dean from right to left, the back four. They're 4-2-3-1 in formation like Bournemouth 2. Kamara and Onana in midfield. Asensio in the 10. Ramsey and former Bournemouth loanee Rogers, the two wide men. Ollie Watkins leading the line through the middle in the number 9 role. Their bench as they come down the right side of the Bournemouth box. Cash, low ball in, cut off by Howson. Kirkes will come away with it and lay it out to the left hand side, and Semenyo. So Semenyo down the left today, Tavernier over on the right at the moment. Do the Villa bench for you in a moment. Onana has it, central position, halfway inside the Bournemouth box. Try to lay it through early to Ollie Watkins. Howson read it again, like he does always so often. Just a couple of seconds ahead of the opposition players. Stepped in, cut off the pass, and Bournemouth win a free kick on halfway. The Villa bench, Disasi, Torres, Matson, Garcia, Barkley, Bailey, Mallon, McGinn and Olsen, the substitute goalkeeper. Former Bournemouth defender and assistant manager John Williams. Justin Cliver, top scorer, dropped to the bench.
Yeah,
what do you make of that today?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, I have to say. He's looked pretty dangerous just recently.
Vitality Stadium is loud for this one. We're live on BBC Radio Solent, all frequencies across the UK on the BBC Sounds app. For your smartphones, your smart speakers, if you ask them to play BBC Radio Solent, and around the world on the AFC Bournemouth app too. And club website. Here's Zabani, the Ukrainian, on halfway. Blue boots, sends it out to the right via Adam Smith. Tavernier, lovely feet down the line, away from Dean. Square ball in field, finds Alex Scott, 25 yards out. Dean Howson joins in now, sends it out to the left in Semenyo. Pace about Bournemouth passing. Deep cross to the back post, too deep. Bounces into the north stand. Goal kick to Aston Villa. 0-0 at the Vitality Stadium, 3 minutes gone.
Yeah, nice little selection of passing there, one side to the other. Didn't quite get the cross correct.
Taken short by Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper, to his right. And Conser clears, hits the deck under a tackle from Lewis Cook, stays down, and referee Stuart Atwell says free kick against Lewis Cook. We have got the FA Cup final official in charge of this game, and his two assistants as well, in Adam Nunn and Dan Robertson. They will take charge of the final between Man City and Crystal Palace next weekend.
I have to say, Rodgers, he's not got a big memory of mine, to be quite honest. I can't remember too much about him.
When he was here on loan, so under Scott Parker in the Championship promotion winning season, but it wasn't a great loan for him.
No.
Struggled, played a lot of the time at fullback. Obviously moving from Man City to Aston Villa, there's a real talent. I think there's talk of Man City wanting him back as well. I don't know if there is a buyback option in his contract. I imagine there might be. He's had a brilliant season, Morgan Rodgers. The two former Cherries players out there today with Tyrone Mings at centre-back too. Like Rodgers, struggled here. More to do with his injury issues, Tyrone Mings, than anything else. Throw into Aston Villa on this near right-hand side. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Solent, Villa winning the toss, turning the teams around. Bournemouth shooting towards the Ted McDougall stand for the second half. They're going the other way of this first half. Villa are inside the Bournemouth box through Jacob Ramsey. Over on the left, here's Onana. Lifts one into the box. It's comfortable for Villa. For Kepa, I should say, to claim. He's in his yellow lemon goalkeeper kit, top shorts and socks today. As Andoni Iraola's name rings around the Vitality Stadium for the first time this afternoon. The two Basque managers stood, both wearing dark chinos, dark knitted jumpers, modern sneakers, hands in pockets, watching on, orchestrating things from the sideline. Kirkes has done really well to keep it in for Bournemouth down the left, 18 yards out on the touchline, but then as the ball went up into the air after his first touch, his second header went down the line and out of play, goal kick to Villa.
It was some first touch, to be honest. Had to control it with his head.
Airborne as well as he did it. We mentioned Justin Kluivert being dropped to the bench. He scored just once since January and has only scored twice here in the Premier League. All of his goals, the majority of his goals, coming away from home this season. All of those things I'm sure may be playing a part with that decision to start Alex Scott today, who has been really good over the last few games. A big impact off the bench at the weekend away at Arsenal, along with Semenyo. You see match of the day, 37 yards I think they said for that throw from Semenyo.
That was amazing.
One back by Bournemouth on the halfway line. Here's Tyler Adams, looks up early, trying to lift it into the box, looking for Alex Scott. Onana gets back, but then Tyrone Mings spends too long on the ball, but he wins a free kick. Alex Scott has stayed down, trying to win it back off Mings. He got almost squashed, I think, as he hit the deck there. It'll be a free kick. It was risky from Tyrone Mings there, Willow. Turning away from Evan Nilsson nearly straight into Alex Scott, who is still down and is going to need some treatment.
Yeah, I think he just got his body in between, didn't he? I don't think there was ever going to be any way Alex could get to it, but I think he's hurt his. I think he's got one in the mooey. Them bangs on your end of your nose can hurt more than I like to remember.
Oh yeah, you're right. Right elbow of Tyrone Mings, who was just trying to put his body across Alex Scott, has caught him right in the face.
Yeah.
That looked a really painful one. Scott is still down, so flat on his back, and the physio is lying over the top of him.
I've never seen him get that close.
Yeah, right in his face, talking to him, just trying to. So it is loud in here. Probably just trying to hear what Alex Scott is saying.
The only concern I would have is
Andoni Iraola is pointing the referee and he's saying that's an elbow, ref. You should be looking at that back at Stockley Park. Darren Bond is the fourth official, stood down to the right of Andoni Iraola, talking to him at the moment. Chris Cavana is the VAR today back at Stockley Park, assisted by Nick Greenhall. No sign of any kind of VAR review up on the screen. So I think they're fine. I think it was accidental from Mings. He was just being physical, moved across, and Scott's come. He didn't know Alex Scott was there, in fairness to Tyrone Mings, I don't think, in sort of the location that he was. Is that fair, Willow?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's looked after himself. Tyrone, he's got his body and his arms. There's no way he's going to get the ball, Alex. And he's run through a brick wall.
Second live Premier League commentary here on BBC Radio Solent for you today. Over 6 hours of live football earlier on. Southampton 0-0.
Well done, Southampton.
At home to Manchester City, which gets them past that unwanted record that they were alongside Derby with, the worst points tally in the Premier League. Reaction to come from that game at half-time in this one. Adam Blackmore's been to speak to Simon Rusk. It'll go up on BBC Sound shortly too. Just search for Southampton on the app.
Who was manager of Derby that season? Can you remember?
I do know it, and I've forgotten it now off the top of my head. Ian Wilding sat to our left, will be able to tell us any moment now. Long throw to Aston Villa over on the left in front of their travelling supporters in that right-hand third of the East Stand. Luca Dean dries the ball off. and tries an Antoine Semenyo long throw into the box. Kepa's spilt it, it's dropped, Semenyo gets in there and blocks. Free kick to the Cherries for a late tackle by Morgan Rogers on Antoine Semenyo, who stayed down holding his ankle. Really, really important block from Antoine Semenyo after Kepa had spilt the throw.
Yes.
Alex Scott Willow getting in the way of Kepa, not communicating the two of them. Otherwise that's an easy catch.
All around the country they are definitely in vogue, long throws. Everybody's doing it.
In vogue, I like that.
Yeah. You know what it means?
Yeah.
What?
In fashion.
Of course it does. Strike a pose.
And the Visio's just come all the way running on. Oh, he's dropped. I thought he was running back off again because they told him they didn't need him, but he's dropped his radio, Bournemouth physio.
You might need that.
Antoine Semenyo is up and is okay, but Kepa is injured and has taken his goalkeeper glove off. That clash with
Let's hope he hasn't done a
Alex
finger.
Scott from the long throw-in, the in vogue long throw-in, has caused Kepa a few problems.
Yeah, it does around the country.
Billy Davies and Paul Jewell were the joint managers of Derby during that season.
Interesting. Jewell, Scouser, played for Wigan.
With that unwanted record of 11 points. So Southampton on to 12 now. Bournemouth, 53 points in their record-breaking season. 14 wins after that Arsenal one. The most they've ever got in a Premier League season. They are back down to 10th after the wins for Brentford and Brighton today. 2 points behind those two, so a win lifts them back up to 8th. They are 7 points behind Villa. If they win today, they close that gap to 7th down to 4. Villa have got Tottenham and Man United to come in their final 2 games, which most people would have down now as 2 wins, especially given that they've got a Europa League final, both of them, to concentrate on. But still, could be tricky fixtures for Villa. Bournemouth, of course, with Man City and Leicester to come after this one. Kepa looks like he's going to be okay for the time being. He's putting his goalkeeper glove back on. Bournemouth's physio is off the pitch now, and we're going to get play back underway. Balls at Kepa's feet inside the 18-yard area. 12 minutes gone. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 0. Blue skies and sunshine overhead in the Premier League. The Cherries going from right to left towards the Steve Fletcher North stand in this first half. Red and black tops and black shorts and socks. Here's Dean Howson dribbling up towards the halfway line and out to this near left-hand side. Morgan Rogers closes him down. Howson passes forward but passes straight to Kamara. And then there's a whistle from the referee for a free kick to Aston Villa. Late tackle by Howson. It's about 10 yards inside the Aston Villa half. They go back to Konsa on the edge of the Villa 18-yard area. Finds Matty Cash, who turns away from Semenyo down the touchline. This near side.
No, he's dived.
Gets brought down, says the referee. John Williams says no.
Come on, Matty.
Clever from Matty Cash. Felt the contact, hit the deck.
I think he hit the deck before the contact.
Felt the contact arriving. Howson wins a big header on the halfway line. Tyler Adams is trying to get it back from Onana. Onana's still got it. He's dribbling forward all the way to the edge of the Bournemouth 18-yard area. Lays it off to Ollie Watkins. Edge of the box. Comes back out. Shot goalwards over the bar. Jacob Ramsey couldn't keep it down. It's into the south stand. It's a goal kick to Bournemouth. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, I know. That's what you've got to be careful of. He's quite capable of running 30, 40 yards, brushing people off. He's got such upper body strength, and then laying a teammate in for a shot.
That tackle was missed by Adams on the halfway line, and then the half just opened up for him to drive forward to the edge of the Bournemouth box. Howson was out of position, so there was a huge gap where he would normally be. Villa forward again. They lay it off to Ollie Watkins inside the Bournemouth box. Asensio joining in. Watkins couldn't find him, and Bournemouth get it away. Here's Lewis Cook now up towards halfway. Alex Scott just outside the centre circle. looks to his right hand side, instead passes it along the ground out to the left in Milos Kerkez. Milos Kerkez forward along the deck to Semenyo. Semenyo 18 yards out down the left touchline, 1-2 with Cook. Semenyo first time cross, cut off by Cash. Back with Cook and Kerkez now, halfway inside the Villa half, down this near left side. Infield and square to Howson. Howson turns away from Asensio and works it back out to the left, and Lewis Cook in a left wing position at the moment for the Cherries. Bournemouth slow it down and reset again, back to walking pace, quarter of an hour gone. Live on BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds. Ilya Zabani sends it out to the right. Marcus Tavernier. Tavernier back to Smith.
Tavernier, that's a good name.
Howson, diagonal out to the right, looking for Tavernier. Headed away by Villa and brought under control by Watkins, and then he passes it straight back in towards Onana, but Alex Scott was there, and Scott's hit the deck again, and he's been knocked in the face again. He's stayed down, he's waved immediately to the bench. Meanwhile, play continues at the other end, and Kepa's had to come out of his box and clear with his feet and put it into the east stand. Alex Scott's gone down. He's really struggling after that initial blow to the jaw, I think it was, or nose, from Tyrone Mings, and then he's just been knocked again to the face, and he's sat down now on the grass, and Onana has just caught him with an arm as well. He's not having a lot of luck out there at the moment, Alex Scott, John Williams.
No, he's walked into two right into the dial, holding his cheekbone this time as well. I've done the cheekbone. It's you got to come off. If it hangs down.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Did you have to wear a mask when you came back?
No, I
Were they not a
had my own one.
What, Zorro?
Doesn't go faster.
Still, Alex Scott is down, receiving treatment just outside the centre circle. And 2 physios on for Bournemouth now, club doctors out there as well. Bournemouth have sent Justin Kluivert out to warm up away to the left hand side. He was the man left out of the side for Alex Scott today. When we get back underway, there will be a throw into Aston Villa, halfway inside Bournemouth's half, over on the left. That side of the ground still bathed in sunshine. Reminder, we've got live cricket commentary ongoing at the moment as well. Up at Trent Bridge, Nottinghamshire against Hampshire. Notts batting for a second time. Hampshire bowled out earlier on today for 196. And live commentary of Hampshire women on the way for you tomorrow from 10:30 on the BBC Sport app and website. Hampshire women against Essex women at the Utilita Bowl. We'll be with you through until 8 o'clock tonight. Post-match reaction to come once the full-time whistle goes here at the Vitality. Alex Scott's back up on his feet. That's a good sign, and he's over on the far side now, just off the pitch. Plays back underway, ball's inside the centre circle. Kamara sends it out to the right, and Cash. About 25 yards in Bournemouth territory. They go back to the halfway line, Villa, in their white away kit today, and find Konsa forward to Onana. Onana to the right, and Kamara. Ball still just outside the centre circle as Villa ping it around in a diamond with Asensio joining in. And then Mings sends it out to the left, but he passes it straight to Tavernier. Tavernier can't bring it under control. Jacob Ramsey has it, left side of the Bournemouth box, low crossing. Zabani clears, only as far as Tyrone Mings. Mings is being booed for that collision with Alex Scott. Alex Scott's back on the pitch now. Here is Mings into the Bournemouth box. Square ball, looking for Asensio, cleared by Tyler Adams. Villa playing a really high line at the moment, Willow, and Bournemouth having to sit really deep in defence.
Well, they are, but there's a chance to break on them.
Yeah,
plenty
and here
of room.
It is now. Down the right, Marcus Tavernier finds Evan Nilsson down the line, 18 yards out. He's just held up over there by Konsa. Bournemouth hold on to the ball through Evan Nilsson and Tavernier, and now Alex Scott still on that right touchline in front of the east stand. Back towards the halfway line now, and Zabani. Bournemouth work it from right to left in the feed of Semenyo now. This near left-hand side, right on the touchline. White paint on his boots as they find Lewis Cook, who's spending a lot of time down this left flank at the moment for the Cherries, is Lewis Cook. No option, squeeze for room. So they again will go this time from left to right along halfway. Adam Smith goes direct down the line, looking for the run of Tavernier. And they force Luca Dean into a clearance, who's cleared it over the roof of the East Stand and into the houses behind there. And it will be a throw into the Cherries. Taken quickly by Tavernier, back to Smith. Now Zabani on halfway. Finds Dean Howson inside the centre circle. Bournemouth's chill guy, as he likes to be known now. Tavernier down the right, good feet, infield, square ball to Evan Nilsson. Back out to the right side of the box, 1-2 to Tavernier. Adam Smith arrives on the underlap. Instead he lays it to Alex Scott. Alex Scott crosses the front post. Evan Nilsson heads goalwards. Saved by Martinez down to his right hand side. Bournemouth created that out of nothing really. Dangerous header from Evan Nilsson. Martinez had to be alert to it. Still 0-0.
Yeah, he couldn't get any power on the header. It was curling away from him. Oh, it's clipped off the defender anyway.
Was Evan Nilsson's header at the front post at Villa Park at the end of October that rescued a point for Bournemouth at the end of that game. He was left out of the side that day for Enesu now. A man like Marcos Senesi celebrating his 28th birthday today. Watching on away to our left hand side in the TV studios in the corner between the main stand and the north stand. Along, I'm sure, with Dongo Watara, Ryan Christie and Luis Sinisterra, Bournemouth's injured quartet. Cherries coming down the left by the corner flag. Semenyo keeps it in. Here's Kirkes trying to get to the byline. Gets a low cross in. Not enough power on it. Konsa will clear up towards halfway. Tyler Adams is there to bring it under control and cut it off. Has the ball at his feet now by the left-hand touchline, this near side. Semenyo sends it back towards halfway and Howson will send it out to the right. And Zabani, noise again inside the Vitality. Bournemouth trying to work it down the right, but cut off by Aston Villa. And they'll come away with it through the middle of the park now, and Ramsey with the square ball to Onana, still inside their own half. Aston Villa. Asensio's over on the left. They'll go back to their left back in Dean. Dean with a square ball infield to Onana, who then tries direct and over the top, looking for the run of Watkins. Howson read it well, sprinted back, got there ahead of Watkins and headed back to Kepa. John Williams.
I think Kepa, his starting position there, Howson had to stretch for it. Ball bounced once and it was in the area. That's usually the goalkeepers.
Howson dealing with it well in the end though. Who, because of him, I now have the Pink Panther theme tune stuck in my head all week after his celebration for that goal away at Arsenal. Did you see it with Tavernier and Scott? They were doing, it's a song, a Lucky Cat song apparently, which is like a remix of the Pink Panther tune. Beyond me, some of these celebrations we see from the players. You wouldn't have had any of that back in your day, would you?
It was just starting. It used to just be a handshake. Well done, old boy.
Back out to the right by Zabani, and Tavernier now drifts into the Villa half. Back towards the halfway line again, and Zabani joins in, sends it to his left in Howson. Howson advanced into the Villa territory. Finds Semenyo down the left. Semenyo's going to run all the way to the byline himself, gets round Rodgers but can't keep it in. Out of play. Goal kick to Aston Villa. 22 minutes gone. Bournemouth 0, Villa 0. BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds. And we've got a job going for the next couple of weeks on BBC Radio Solent. If you'd like to apply to be John Williams' bouncer. He has been mobbed today. There has been a steady stream of Cherry supporters, which has been lovely to see, coming up to shake his hand after his announcement at the end of the Arsenal game. You don't need a bouncer actually, do you, a man of your size?
People have been lovely, fantastic.
Throw into the throw into Villa down this near side in their right back position. I thought that came off of Cash Laugh, but it was Semenyo. Cash will take the throw in 18 yards out from his own goal line. Andoni Irola's pointing to the corner and saying, hang on a minute ref, that was a lot further back than that. Unai Emery is trying to tell Matty Cash to throw it down the line, but instead he's gone infield. Adam Smith loses the aerial battle with Ramsey. Asensio is going to skip away from Zabani on the halfway line. Alex Scott gets back to do some defending. Still Asensio dribbling into the box. Tyler Adams is the man in the end to mop it up for Bournemouth.
Adams and Scott there, excellent work, the two midfielders.
Interesting at the moment, because of Alex Scott back there, Lewis Cook's gone into the number 10 role. Alex Scott's popping up all over the place, Willow, isn't he, in these opening 20-25 minutes?
It certainly is.
And he looks to have...
he's on a hat-trick as well.
Yeah, shaken off the double blow to the face which he's received, once from Mings and then one from Onana in this first half, which both have dropped him to the deck and required treatment from the Bournemouth medical team. And the ball's out of play on the far side. The Aston Villa fans, who are shielding their eyes from the sun, just hold on to the ball to stop Bournemouth from taking it quickly. That won't happen anyway, because Villa have got Onana down. He's just getting back up to his feet now. Not going to need any treatment. Back underway. Howson swings a right boot at it and sends it out to this near left-hand side to Kirkes. Back infield to Howson. Received a lot of plaudits, him and Zabani, for their performance away at Arsenal last weekend, and rightly so. Long ball down the line, over on the right hand side, and Onana is down again for Villa, and it will be a free kick to the visitors, just inside the Villa half.
Bit of payback there, do you think?
Scott might. I don't think so. Looking at it again, you'll know more about that than me.
I'm telling you, that was payback. He didn't catch him like he wanted to, but
he's back up on his feet, and he's okay. And it's a free kick to Villa. They send it long into the Bournemouth half. Ollie Watkins brings it under control, holds it up, but Zabani gets a good foot in there, and Zabani has it at his feet again now and goes back to Kepa, who launches it long for Bournemouth up to halfway. Evan Nilsson wins the header well in front of Mings, and then Cook works it out to the left in Semenyo, and Bournemouth sense something might be on here. Here's Semenyo, edge of the box, onto his right foot, finds Alex Scott. Scott shoots from long range, blocked by Onana, and Scott and Onana are battling again up towards the halfway line. Onana, step over, away from Alex Scott. Scott drags him to the ground. Free kick to Villa. And I think that's going to be, it is a yellow card for Alex Scott.
That means he won't see the end of the game. It'll be off time. It just looks a bit of a mismatch. That Nana looks a bit too strong for Adam.
Did he have to make that, Willow, there? It's just covering defenders. He might argue he felt he needed to pull him down there.
There was a race to the ball first of all.
Yeah.
Nana gets there first. There's a little stop-start.
The only thing you'd say about that is, I'm not sure Justin Kluivert's going to be able to deal with the physicality of Onana in a much of a better way than Alex Scott will.
Yeah, you could be right.
Free kick to Villa. Asensio has it over on the left, curls it into the box. Zabani's hit the deck, but Bournemouth get it away through Howson. Kamara lifts it back to the edge of the area. Evan Nilsson has it, chests it down, and is dribbling forward up towards halfway, and Asensio fouls Evan Nilsson, and now Asensio's been booked too. Free kick to Bournemouth.
Cookie just had a little word with him, staying down for a second. He said it's okay, the referee's booked him, you can get up.
The dark arts.
Yeah, play a big part in it.
Kepa will come out to take this free kick, about 25 yards inside the Bournemouth half, dead centre. Kirkes and Semenyo are hugging this touchline out on the left, and Kepa's looking for them. Finds Semenyo. Great control out of the sky from Antoine Semenyo. Under pressure from Matty Cash, he's pushed back towards the halfway line, but he keeps it under control, and Bournemouth will work it from left to right now, and Zabani on the halfway line. Direct ball over the top from Zabani, lovely, into Evan Nilsson, chests it down. Tyrone Mings recovers, puts it behind. Corner to Aston Villa. Great vision and great execution by Ilya Zabani to pick out Evan Nilsson there in one of his runs. John Williams, you were telling us last week he makes so many of them that go unnoticed.
Yeah, I know it was another one there, that one just a little bit in front of him, landed on his chest, but it was going away from goal.
Corner to the Cherries. Over on the far side. I think this might be their first of the game. Marcus Tavernier will take it left-footed. Semenyo for the short one. Right corner of the box. They're working the routine. Semenyo's got the return pass wrong. And Villa have it again, but Alex Scott's won it back for Bournemouth in front of Jacob Ramsey. A rare occasion where the Cherries didn't get the routine right from the set piece. Here they come again over on the right. Tavernier looks up early, wants to deliver into the box, decides against it. Goes square to Zabani, just outside the centre circle. Forward to Howson. Howson does cross into the box, looking towards the back post. Tavernier couldn't get there, bounces out of play. Goal kick. Villa 0. Bournemouth 0 here at the Vitality Stadium, live on BBC Radio, Solent and BBC Sounds.
Look at it. I bet if you look at the stats, Howson's had more touches of the ball than anyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. Villa take the goal kick short, cleared by Martinez long under pressure, and Villa bring it under control inside the centre circle. Forward early, looking for the run of Matty Cash into the Bournemouth box, cut off by Dean Howson, that man again, John Williams.
Yeah, he's totally involved, isn't he? With or without the ball.
Where do you think he'll end up, Willow? He's going to have his pick of clubs by the sound of it.
Not in England, I hope.
I think so, they reckon. That's the talk, is that the English clubs are in pole position to sign him. Right. Arsenal interested, Chelsea interested, Liverpool interested. Matty Cash with the throwing down this near right hand side to the edge of the box. Battle between Zabani and Watkins on the edge of the area. Lays it off to Ramsey. Ramsey inside the box. Square ball. Looking to Onana on the edge of the box. Tyler Adams has cut it off. And they'll work it forward to Evan Nilsson and out to this near left hand side in Semenyo. Semenyo's dribbling infield. Released it well under pressure. Just at the right moment. Nothing on for Bournemouth in an advanced position, so they go back to Zabani. Dean Howson with a £50 million buyout clause in his contract. My understanding is Liverpool are the preferred option at the moment for Dean Howson.
Who told you that?
A very reliable source. Arne Slot having a big part to play in that. Of course, the Howsons, a Dutch family, they moved to Spain. Here's Scott, edge of the box for Bournemouth. They'll work it out to the left-hand side in Kirkes. Kirkes towards the byline, low cross in, cut off at the front post by Cash. Back out to Scott in the edge of the area, finds Tyler Adams. Just passing it around with Lewis Cook about 30 yards out. And now Howson again joins in, sends it out to the left in Kirkes. Square ball infield to Semenyo. Bournemouth back towards the halfway line again in Tyler Adams. Here is Tyler Adams through the middle. Nothing to the left, so they work it to the right. Villa have got all 11 men back behind the ball. Here's Ilya Zabani. Zabani forward through the middle to Tyler Adams. Send it out to the left in Howson. Forward to Kirkes and out to Semenyo down the left. Square ball back infield. Patient play. Tommy Elphick, the Bournemouth first team coach, is out to the edge of the technical area, just orchestrating this play, trying to get Bournemouth to send it back to the right, which they've done. Here's Tavernier in front of the east stand, right on the touchline, and he's passed it straight out of play, trying to find Adam Smith behind him. Throw into Aston Villa, and all that possession comes to nothing.
Yeah, they look pretty organised, Aston Villa, I have to say. I don't believe their keeper's had a shot, has he, to save?
Just that header from Evan Nilsson down to his right, which, as you said, couldn't get enough power behind it. There's your possession stats: 66% to the Cherries, 35 to Aston Villa at the moment.
Wow.
Bournemouth 2 shots to Villa's just 1. Bournemouth the only team with a shot on target so far. Like it was at Villa Park, a bit of a chess match at the moment between these two teams, waiting for one another to make a mistake so that they can pounce. Both teams desperate for the 3 points in their respective races for Europe. Still, we don't know if Bournemouth can make it. It will be a European spot. They need a favour from Man City and their old pal Eddie Howe. 2. Throw into the Cherries over on the right. Adam Smith launches it down the line, making his 400th appearance. 15 years since his first at this very ground against Carlisle in League One. A 2-0 win, September 2010, on loan from Tottenham back then.
Amazing career.
Onana under pressure on the halfway line. Good pressing from Lewis Cook and Alex Scott too. They force Villa all the way back to their 18-yard area. Martinez takes a touch. Evan Nielsen's on him quickly. Martinez clears up towards halfway. Morgan Rogers brings it under control, but Dean Howson nicks it away from him. Late tackle by Asensio, who's on a yellow card, remember, on Tyler Adams. Play on, says the referee.
I'm trying to work out how Evan Nielsen gets so close to the goalkeeper. I think he stays out their peripheral vision. I think he stays in the dark, so to speak, until the last moment.
It is like the goalkeepers don't know he's there and don't see him coming because they spend so long on the ball. And I know they do that in the modern era, but it seems they take a lot of risks, and he just appears out of nowhere. I mean, he's caught enough goalkeepers and defenders out this season already, not more so than the Wolves goalkeeper earlier on in the season. Here's Kirkes down the left for Bournemouth. Left edge of the box. Square ball infield from Adams to Scott, and then back to Howson. He's always there to receive that pass. Here's Kirkes again. Scott, left corner of the box. Right-footed cross to the back post. Looking for Tavernier. Headed up into the sky by Luca Dean. Tavernier is going to jockey for position, let it roll out of play, and win a corner over on the far side to the Cherries.
I think if Adam has one more touch, he can shoot there. He looked about 20 yards out.
Goalless at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth down to 10th after the wins for Brighton and Brentford earlier on. Defeat for Fulham. Here's Tavernier, short one with Semenyo, then to Smith. They tried the same routine again and they've got it wrong again, this time with the third pass to Smith. And now Villa are going to try and break on halfway. Asensio forward, looking for Ramsey, who's gone down. Free kick, says the referee. Foul by Antoine Semenyo. Halfway inside the Bournemouth half. Semenyo can't believe it. He's saying he won the ball. John Williams is going to have a good look at the replay and see if he's got a case. I think he has.
This is. He gets in front of him.
Yeah, little stud on the football before.
Yeah.
Before Ramsey got there. You can understand why he's frustrated. Important to break up that breakaway.
Self-inflicted that. That's two corners we've.
The same routine again. Absolutely. But the third pass this time. So the first time it was the return pass from Semenyo to Tavernier, the second pass which went wrong. This time Semenyo got that one right to Tavernier, and then the third pass to Smith on the right corner of the box didn't make it, and that allowed Villa in. And now Bournemouth have got some real defending to do. Keep your eye on Onana here, Willow. He's just gone off the pitch to get a drink, but I wonder if that's him trying to be cute. No, he's okay, fair enough, he's wandered back into the mix now. I thought he was just going to stay out of the way and try and sneak in at the back post.
I think there's spies everywhere.
Defensive line for Bournemouth is the 18-yard area. Free kicks over on the left. Halfway inside the Bournemouth half. Asensio, left-footed, curls it to the penalty spot. Mings wins the header, straight up into the sky. Bournemouth with a player down. Whistle goes. Free kick to the Cherries. Kirkes is holding his face. Head injury. He's back up and he looks like he's okay. Free kick to Bournemouth. Danger over.
Yeah, I was just looking for an offside there. Didn't get it.
I think he did get knocked in the face, but also I think that's quite clever from Milos Kirkes. You know, if it's a head injury, probably the referee's going to stop the match. Free kicks taken by Kepa inside the 18-yard area. Finds Howson, who sprints up with the ball at his feet to the halfway line. Asensio gets back goal side of him and holds him up and sends Howson back to Kepa with the pass. Kepa 1-2 with Howson, and then Tyler Adams drops in between the two centre-backs for Bournemouth and receives the ball and then sends it out to the right and Zabani. And then Adam Smith, the Cherry skipper, square ball back infield to the centre circle, and Tyler Adams, who immediately looks up and drives forward into the Villa half. They'll work it through Howson out to the left in Kirkes. Kirkes, early cross in, poor cross, straight into the north stand. Goal kick. 7 minutes to go until half time. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 0.
Yeah, there'll be about 10 minutes of extra time.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. There are 2 injuries to Alex Scott, a couple of other moments. Southampton drawing 0-0 with Manchester City earlier on in the Premier League. Reaction to come at half-time here at the Vitality Stadium. Ian Wilding will guide you through the break, bring you the scorelines from elsewhere, bring you the latest from the cricket at Trent Bridge 2, Hampshire against Nottinghamshire. If you can't wait for that Saints reaction, BBC Sounds is your place to find it. Remember, if you search for all three of our clubs, Bournemouth, Portsmouth and Southampton, it'll take you to our dedicated page on BBC Sounds, and if you hit subscribe, you'll get a notification if you've got push notifications turned on every time there's new content available. Might be an episode of Cherries Unpicked, might be a pre-match interview, a post-match interview, or an interview like Ian Wilding did last night with Jason Pearce, the former Cherries skipper. Here's Alex Scott into the box, looking for Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson didn't get the touch right, came off of his thigh into the path of Martinez. Just not quite there for the Cherries on that occasion.
What a great tackle that was, though, to win the ball. I think the two of them had a nibble of it. Just seeing it here again. No.
Tight and cagey affair so far in Dorset. Back with Martinez, ball at his feet, and again he spends a little while on it. And that allows Evan Nilsson just to sneak up alongside him, but he does clear long and direct into the Bournemouth half. Zabani and Howson sweep it up in front of Watkins. Evan Nilsson battling for it on the edge of the 18-yard area. Looked for a moment there like he was trying to catch it, Evan Nilsson. Matty Cash has it. Semenyo's trying to get it away from him. Semenyo falls to the ground. Cash too, but he's kept the ball in play. Infield to Asensio. Asensio slipped. And Bournemouth want a handball, but they've won it back anyway through Tyler Adams and Lewis Cook inside the centre circle. Forward to Evan Nilsson, about 25 yards out. He goes down, fouled by Kamara. Free kick to the Cherries. Central position, 25-30 yards out. I think Andoni Iraola thinks that's a yellow card because he's laughing, shrugging his shoulders, shaking his head.
He's given him a bit of a boot there.
Yeah, he let him know he was there, did Boubacar Kamara, and Evan Nilsson's felt that one and is still down on the ground.
He's alright though, he's smiling. Now, too far out, isn't it?
Well, usually when you say that, it ends up in the top corner, so let's hope so.
Sometimes you have to cry him home.
In front of the Steve Fletcher North Stand, the great man himself is stood just over our left-hand shoulder, off in the executive area. He would be loving to get himself on the end of one of these crosses, which is going to head into the box from Alex Scott, looking for Zabani and Howson. Too much on it, and Martinez comes out and plucks it out of the sky.
Yeah, it's always an awkward one, that, when it's central and 30-35 yards out.
Just too much on it from Scott, too much airtime. Allowed Martinez to come. Semenyo's won it back, edge of the box, square ball into Onana with the interception. And they still have it, Villa, and they're trying to play out from their own byline, and they do well in the end and launch it up towards halfway through Ezri Konsa, and Zabani in a foot race with Ollie Watkins takes no chances. Zabani puts it straight out of play on this near side down in front of us, and Morgan Rogers has the ball in his hands now, ready for the throw-in. First time there, Willow, that Bournemouth have really won the ball back high in a dangerous position. Such a big part of their game under Iraola. Not had many opportunities to do it this afternoon. Semenyo did it really well there, just couldn't find the pass into the box, and Adam Smith's lost control of it. Asensio shoots off the post, comes back out, and Tyler Adams has got the rebound and will clear the box. Oh, that came from nowhere. Adam Smith there just lost control of the ball on the edge of his own box, and Asensio did not wait to shoot. Kepa was scrambling to his left. Not sure if he got a touch on it, the Spaniard. Either way, it's still 0-0. Best chance of the game for Villa so far.
Yeah, bit fortunate there.
Here's Ramsey on the halfway line, over on the left. Square ball infield to Onana. Onana goes direct in central over the top, looking for Ramsey, who continued his run. It's going to roll all the way out for a goal kick to the Cherries, and Kepa just shields it out of play under a bit of pressure from Ramsey. Goal kick. Big chance that for Villa, Willow.
Yeah, got pickpocketed there. Oh, has he got a finger on it?
No, just seen the replay. I think it was past Kepa. He wasn't far away from it, but had it been in a couple of inches inside the post, then I think Kepa probably would have got there. Anyway, that's the best chance of the game so far. Bournemouth's best, really, a header from Evan Nilsson, but not a lot of power behind it, which was saved by Martinez down to his right. 0-0 and very little to pick between these two teams so far. Bournemouth unbeaten in their last 3 here at the Vitality Stadium against Villa. Here's Marcus Tavernier, sends it to the left side of the box in Semenyo. Semenyo dribbles into the area, still going towards the byline, goes down. Play continues. Bournemouth want a handball. Evan Nilsson's won it back now inside the box, and it's cleared by Onana. They'll check it back at Stockley Park. Been waved away by Stuart Atwell on the pitch, so will need to be clear and obvious for it to be overturned. And Stuart Atwell's just paused the game now. The ball's gone out of play. Throw into the Cherries on the halfway line, but we'll wait for Chris Cavana to check it back at Stockley Park. I don't think that'll be given. His hand was in a pretty natural position from Morgan Rogers. 6 minutes stoppage time at the end of this first half as we just tick into them. A couple of nasty head injuries to Alex Scott, the reason for the 6 minutes.
It hits his stomach as well on the way to the hand, so that can't be. Although he wouldn't put past anything nowadays.
No, you wouldn't. But that was the correct decision in the end by Stuart Atwell on the pitch. And the VAR. Throw into the Cherries, 18 yards out, down the left now.
Long one.
And Anton Semenyo is winding one up. He doesn't have as long a run up as he gets at the Emirates Stadium. He's now sat back on the electronic advertising boards, and everyone can sense what's coming here inside the ground. Semenyo launches another long throw all the way in. Martinez, who I'm sure has watched all the videos from last weekend, comes and plucks it out of the sky for Aston Villa.
Yeah, so handy when your goalkeeper does that, isn't it? Fantastic sound to hear, keepers.
Ball's right side of the Villa box. At Solent Sport, please, for your reaction to this first half on Twitter, on X. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Make Solent the first word of your message. 81333 on the text. Start those with the word Solent too. Ian Wilding would love to hear from you. Here's Asensio driving forward, hit the post a few moments ago for Villa. Luca Dean, cross into the box. Header goal was huge, saved by Kepa off the line, once and then twice. Brilliant goalkeeping from the Spaniard. First to deny Kamara with the header, and I think it was Matty Cash with the follow-up. Kepa reaction, straight up to his feet and then straight down to save the second one, John Williams.
Oh, amazing saves, he's done so well. I thought at first he should have come for the cross, but he wouldn't have got there. He's right to stand his ground.
6 yards out from Kamara with the first header, down off the goal line from Kepa with his feet, I think. His left foot has kept it out, and then Matty Cash with the follow-up header. Kepa got back up and then back down again away to his left-hand side and held on to the ball.
Fantastic saves. Got to hand it to him. That was absolutely...
Bournemouth.
I mean, he's done nothing wrong. He's headed the ball into the ground. That's the striker off the hook, really.
Bournemouth with the post and Kepa to thank for the scoreline, still being 0-0 as we edge towards half-time. Another 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Villa with the best chances of the game so far. Howson to Kirkes, left side of the box, chests it down to the byline, square ball, no one in red and black there to fire it home.
There's only two in the box.
And then Howson with a heavy touch just outside the centre circle. Free kick to the Cherries, off the ball. Tyler Adams was brought down. Howson takes it quickly to Semenyo. Real pace and intensity to end this first half. Semenyo, square ball to Cook, halfway inside Villa territory. Here's Adam Smith over on the right now, down the line to Tavernier. Tavernier skips back infield under pressure from Dean. Back out to the right, he's just held up by Ramsey. Nothing on for Bournemouth, so they go back to the halfway line in Zabani. Here's Tyler Adams just outside the centre circle. Square ball to the left in Howson, 35 yards out. Back infield they work it to Scott and Tyler Adams. Oh, and that's a poor pass from Howson. He's given it straight to Ramsey on the halfway line. Ramsey sprinting forward. He's been brought down by Adam Smith, and he's straight up and in the face of Adam Smith. It's a yellow card for Adam Smith. Tactical foul from Smith. He can have no complaints, but the reaction from Ramsey, unnecessary really. There's a yellow card for Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper, because he is all the way inside the Bournemouth half. Why he's had to sprint that far forward to get involved, I don't know. And now Ramsey's being called over. And if he put any sign of a headbutt in there, he's going to be in real trouble. He definitely went head to head with Adam Smith. Yellow card for Jacob Ramsey. Willow?
I'm just waiting for the replay. No, they ain't got one.
They're not showing you the key moment when he puts his head in.
I didn't see it. Got to be careful now, Adam.
The Bournemouth fans are singing to Jacob Ramsey, "You're going to cry in a minute." He really wasn't very happy with that tackle, was he? It's because he was flying through on goal. So providing we saw the yellow cards which were being shown all over the place there by Stuart Atwell to the right people, it was Martinez, Ramsey and Smith in the book, and it's a free kick to Villa. We have got a minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half left. BBC Radio, Solent, BBC Sounds. Asensio, left-footed cross to the box. Mings gets up and wins the header again. Semenyo into the second header, and he's going to try and keep it in, and he does by the corner flag. He gets lucky, misses the first clearance, but it falls into his path away from Matty Cash, and Semenyo's still trying to dribble out of trouble. He's still going, Semenyo, but he's given it away. Here's Rodgers, low ball into the front post, and it's gone in! All the way past Kepa. There might have been a touch on the way in from Ollie Watkins. Anton Semenyo didn't get the ball clear on the wing, and Villa make Bournemouth pay deep into first half stoppage time. Bournemouth 0, Villa 1.
Well, it's one of them situations where he does fantastic to get out of the corner, Semenyo. But the bit that goes against him is he tries to get a nutmegs on the full-back who wins it back. It's always going to be a difficult one. I was right behind that. It was curling into the far corner, but it was whether anybody got a touch.
Checking for offside. If he doesn't touch it, I think he'd still be classed as interfering with play. He may well have hooked that one in. Yeah, there is the faintest of touches from Ollie Watkins on the way past Kepa. Really dangerous ball in from Morgan Rodgers. And it was a stud, I think, from Watkins that has taken it past Kepa. But still we wait for that possible offside check.
Wouldn't it be nice if it went our way for once?
It's going to be really tight, and it will be a kneecap, if anything else, I think. For Ollie Watkins, I think it was Howson that was marking him. Goal given, no offside. Bournemouth 1-0 down, and they're going to have to do what they did last week away at Arsenal. And they're going to have to come from behind against the Champions League side to get anything out of this game. Ollie Watkins with the goal. Back underway. Howson sends it out to the right. The one thing you would say about Bournemouth in this first half, they've just not looked dangerous enough in the final third, but maybe now they can. Alex Scott out to the right side of the box in Tavernier. Adam Smith trying to skip away from Ramsey, hits the deck, can't keep hold of the ball, and Villa are going to try and break again on the halfway line. Here's Asensio, he's got Watkins and Ramsey to his left. Bournemouth get defenders back now. Villa still have it over on the left hand side. Cross in towards the front post, headed straight up into the air. Alex Scott gets the second one clear. There's the half-time whistle. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1. Ollie Watkins deep into first half stoppage time after Antoine Semenyo failed to clear. Had multiple opportunities to do it, decided to try and dribble his way out of trouble, but all he did was run into a Villa player. Morgan Rodgers with the dangerous ball into the box, and the faintest of touches from Ollie Watkins, sending it past Kepa and into the back of the net. Big job for Andoni Iraola to do at half-time. John Williams.
Yeah, I think it's been really even. Both teams have hummed and on. Nobody really threatened until that last one. It was, our own making. Semenyo gives the ball away when he's trying to be positive. Difficult to have a go at. But it was a situation that we would have hoped to have done really a lot more. That after all the way we played in the first half, we looked quite sound. And to be fair, so did Villa. We haven't done much either end. I thought we was going for the draw, but now we've got it all to do. Don't be surprised if you don't see them substitutions we talked about.
Bournemouth's best chance, an Evan Nilsson header, which was saved by Martinez down to his right. The Cherries, though, were lucky to stay at 0-0 for as long as they were. Asensio hit the post, and then there was a brilliant double save from Kepa to deny Kamara, and then Cash with 2 headers before eventually the deadlock was broken by Ollie Watkins. More from John Williams and myself to come when the players are back out for the second half. Your reaction, please, at Solent Sport on X on social media. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Make Solent the first word of your message. 81333 on the text. Start those with the word Solent 2. Half time at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Kirk says not a great football match due to multiple stoppages, a lack of tempo and a surface that replicates an ice rink, because Cherries have to come back from behind once more.
Here's Rodgers into the front post, and it's gone in all the way past Kepa. Anton Semenyo didn't get the ball clear on the wing, and Villa make Bournemouth pay deep into first half stoppage time. Bournemouth 0, Villa 1.
It's been a bumper Solent Sport today at 3 o'clock. Saints pulled off what seemed impossible before the game. A 0-0 draw at home to Manchester City has moved Saints off the 11-point mark. So they are officially not the worst team in Premier League history, along with Derby. That belongs to Derby alone still from 2008. Genepo Magic says Wellington man of the match. Andy Andrews says rejoice, 12 points out of 108. I think that might be slightly tongue-in-cheek. On the text 81333, on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start your message with Solent at Solent Sport on X. At half-time we'll hear from Simon Russ, the Saints interim boss. We'll get some reaction from there at St Mary's Stadium and go from some scores right across the country today, and your latest sports news on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Hey Michael.
Who's that?
It's me.
Who's me?
It's me, the BBC Sounds app. I'm here on your phone.
Oh, nice to meet you. How can I help?
Did you know you can take me anywhere?
That's good. Tell me more.
Well, with the app on your phone, we can go to the supermarket, the park, or even the pub.
Now that's more like it.
Did you know you can even listen back to yourself?
Can I?
Just click there.
At 11 with the latest BBC News for Hampshire, Dorset and the Isle of Wight, I'm Michael Coote.
Oh, I do sound good.
See, Michael? It's that easy to hear any of our shows on Solent.
Perfect.
BBC Radio Solent has got you covered anytime, anywhere on the BBC Sounds app. Ian Wilding.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Hello, very good evening. The sun still shines, so Cherries have it all to do at half-time as well. Gordon in Highcliffe need to get our act together, riding our luck given to silly yellow cards, need to be much more aggressive, not happy with the referee. Hello to Patrick in Dorchester, says my prediction of 3-0 last night was wrong, thank goodness. 0 points for the prediction league, but we'll take it. Well done Saints, so unlikely, says Patrick. Puddletown though beating Catterstock by 7 wickets in the Dorset League, says Patrick in Dorchester. Thank you Patrick for getting in touch. And Southampton with Simon Russell here from soon. James Bree also up on BBC Sounds, that's going up on that this evening. And a reminder that if you subscribe to all of our BBC Sounds content, as long as you keep your push notifications on, you'll get a notification as soon as everything's uploaded. That includes the Cherries later, Saints reaction, and Going Home with Adam and Joe episode. I imagine they were a bit happier than they've been at times this season after that 0-0 draw as part of our BBC Sounds series. Or you can search Bournemouth, Southampton or Portsmouth into BBC Sounds to get all of your content as well. So that's to tell you about that. We've got so much going on today. It's been a busy show on Solent Sport. Just to tell you as well, in the cricket, Hampshire, they're just coming to the end of the second day at Trent Bridge. Nottinghamshire 129 for 6 in the county championship in their second innings, after Hampshire in their first innings bowled out for 196. Nottinghamshire lead by 266 runs now with 4 wickets remaining. The final play today, BBC Sport app and smart speaker, and tomorrow again when it gets underway tomorrow morning, you can listen to that on your smart speaker as well. Just ask BBC Sounds to play Hampshire, or I should say Nottinghamshire versus Hampshire, day 3. So that's tomorrow. Hampshire women also in action tomorrow at Utilita Bowl in the cricket. So that's also available BBC Sport app and websites. That's Hampshire women against Essex tomorrow from 11 o'clock. That's in the Metro Bank One Day Cup. So that's all to come tomorrow. So it's going to be another busy day on the home of live sport across the south. Just tell you about scores today then in the Premier League. It finished Fulham 1, Everton 3. Fulham did take the lead. Everton coming back to pick up a big 3 points there. It means that Fulham stay 11th and their Europa League hopes look all but over really. Still on 51 points behind Bournemouth in the table. Brentford moving up to 8th as things stand. They won 1-0 at Ipswich as well. Sade with a goal. And Wolves 0, Brighton 2. Successive defeats for Wolves, but it means that Brighton have moved above Bournemouth in the table going into this game as well. Brighton and Brentford on 55 points each, and Bournemouth as things stand staying on 53 from 36 games. But a whole second half to come for you live on Solent Sport, on your smart speaker, BBC Sounds as well as all BBC Radio Solent frequencies. So that was in the Premier League today. In League One playoffs, Leyton Orient an 88th minute penalty in the first leg of their semi-final means it's evenly poised. Leyton Orient 2, Stockport 2. How things change. I remember those two not long ago, particularly Stockport back in the National League. Leyton Orient a fair few years ago now. While in League 2, an 8 o'clock kickoff tonight. That's Notts County against AFC Wimbledon. In the Women's Super League today, Arsenal securing a second place finish, beating Man United 4-3 at home. Chelsea, they go a whole season, 22 games unbeaten, the first Super League side to do so, beating Liverpool 1-0. It also finished Aston Villa 3, Brighton 1. Crystal Palace, who are already relegated, 10 points adrift of Tottenham Hotspur, second from bottom in the end. They lost 5-2 at Manchester City. City 5, Crystal Palace 2. Everton 1, Tottenham 1, and Leicester 4, West Ham 2 is how it finished. In other sports news today, what about Isle of Wight's Brandon Robinson-Thompson? In the Turkish Open, he equalled the course record to surge into a 3-shot lead going into the final round. 9 under par, 62, 14 under for the week, 3 clear of Spain's Jorge Campillo, China's Hao Tong Lee, and South African Robin Williams. So Isle of Wight's Brandon Robinson-Thompson, it's a huge day for him tomorrow, and if he wins or if he doesn't, whatever happens, all the reaction from that and these games today and the cricket, loads to come. Breakfast Sport Bulletins every half an hour from 6 o'clock on Monday morning, and I'll be in the old Bulletins chair for that one, so looking forward to that on Monday morning. A reminder as well, from 8 o'clock tonight, after this, Steph Newhan-Howes will be letting you know about the Radio 1 Dance and BBC Introducing Talent Search. Your chance, if you've ever wanted to perform in Ibiza. Bournemouth's No Colour, a track of the week, and Krug from Southampton is also featured artist of the week. So that's all to come from 8 o'clock this evening. Busy on BBC Radio Solent. You're listening to Solent Sports, BBC Radio Solent, 81333 on the text. Get in touch, Solent your first word, and WhatsApp 08000 321 333 or at Solent Sport on X. Hello to Todd in Poole, says, shame about the news of John Williams going to be retiring at the end of the season. My best memory was going to see him at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff for the nationwide Division 3 playoff final in May 2003. Thank you very much for all the games you've given us through the ups and downs and highs and lows. You as a player and Radio Solent have done Bournemouth proud. Enjoy your retirement, John Williams. So what a nice message that is from Todd. Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to pay tribute to Willow and the great job he's done over the last couple of decades, then you can text WhatsApp throughout the rest of the campaign as well. 81333, Solent your first word, and WhatsApp 08000 321 333 at Solent Sport on X. Let's now hear then from interim boss Simon Rusk. A happy man, I'd have thought, after a 0-0 draw at home to Manchester City in the Premier League, speaking to Adam Blackmore.
Simon, what a difference a week makes. We always say a week's a long time in football, and you go from last Saturday to this Saturday, chalk and cheese.
Yeah, look, I think obviously last Saturday was a difficult one, but as I alluded to, I thought the games leading up to that, was really happy about what progress we were making, particularly defensively, and we saw more of a complete version of that today. So, delighted for the fans, delighted for the players, and we wanted to aspire to finish the season as strong as we possibly could, and really nice moment for everyone at the end to get such an important point.
What was the key to get I think third clean sheet of the season? What was the point? You've had 2 clean sheets now with this team, so what is it?
I think you have to adapt to your opponent. You have to find a way. If we go toe to toe against Manchester City, we lose. So you've got to find a different way to get something out of the game. And that's what we've done. It was a lot of hard work from the players. My job since I've come in is I wanted to be clear about supporting the players as much as possible, because it's been difficult for them, they're people, and it's been difficult for the supporters too. So, if we could create some type of identity in a short period of time, and something which we think can give us a chance of getting points out of games, then that would be job done in many respects. And I think we've done that. We've moved past the points record, which meant so much to the club and so much to the supporters, and that's been done through hard work.
I find it ironic listening to Ruben Diaz moaning about the dry pitch and the gamesmanship. We've got Man City moaning about game management, which they're brilliant at, but the players showed some wisdom, some game management today, and I think that's been lacking at times, but they actually were as cynical as they could be today, which they had to be.
Yeah, that's it. It's you've got to use everything at your disposal. You've got to be streetwise in these games, but I think as well that defending is a great art and it's a skill, and concentration levels required against these teams that we're playing against need to be elite, and they were today.
Yeah, I think some of the defensive blocks were terrific. Injury time tackle from Joe Aribo on O'Reilly in the penalty area, about 2 minutes to go, sort of summed up the afternoon for me. I thought that was tremendous, and for him not to play much football recently and come on and play like he did, was great credit.
Yeah, and look, part of being a professional footballer is being robust with disappointment week in, week out, and Joe's had to do that, and his attitude has been unquestionable, and with Leslie's yellow card at half time, we felt it was the right thing to do. So I thought Joe was excellent. Joe was part of an excellent team display today, and on a personal level I'm really pleased for him.
You took a gamble after criticism last week. You started with no strikers. If it backfires, you get criticised. They played really well and they worked hard off the ball, the three of them using their speed. Was that the key to playing with that front three that you did?
Yeah, well, I think if you spoke
because of their ability to move.
Well, I think if you spoke to Camaldine, he wouldn't necessarily agree that he's never played number 9 in his career. So we did start with a striker, from my perspective. But it's about adapting. It's about looking at what attributes individuals will have in key moments in the game, and also I thought Tyler Diblin's work rate today and his endeavour, for such a young man, such a big game. Yeah, brilliant. And that's great for his learning and development as well. So I'm probably keen to swerve away from individuals today, because I thought as a collective, I spoke about unity at the start of the week, and and it was clearly there to see today. And again, that connection with the supporters, really, really pleased for them to go home and enjoy that moment there.
I think we're all pleased. The 7 minutes of injury time seemed like 27, but let's just talk about it. Whilst having 12 points is nothing to shout about in the big scheme of things, for the city and the club and the fans not to have that stain that would have been there had they stayed on 11 points is huge and worth being happy about. That's a massive thing to get past.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, listen,
it's been weighing on them for so long.
Yeah, there's two things to that. Great it's gone. We can sort of draw a line under that. But also, in terms of, pride and identity, it's, to a certain extent, you can't care about what anyone else says or thinks. And we have to be quite single-minded in our approach, and as a football club as well. And hopefully today it's a big step forward, and we want to finish the season as well as possible. We want to give the fans something to really get behind. And I think overall we've done that, in these short amount of games. We were gutted last week, absolutely gutted, but we draw a line under that, and I think we focus on what was brilliant today, and there was lots of brilliant today.
Just finally, do you think the players can enjoy the last couple of weeks knowing that they haven't got that thing on their back weighing them down, that 11 points? Could it actually help them in the next 2 games?
Well, I think we just again, this is the Premier League, and we need to go and perform well next week. Not going to get too carried away either way. We train, we work hard, and we see where it takes us next week.
Interim boss for Southampton, Simon Rusk. James Bree's also been speaking to Adam Blackmore. That going up on BBC Sounds this evening, as well as going home with Adam and Joe. The Bournemouth players are out. We've been waiting a while for the Villa players to arrive. Pompey Dave says, well done Bournemouth for a great season, whatever happens. So it's a 6-hour bumper show. It started with Southampton 0, Manchester City 0. Can the Cherries get themselves back into this game? With 3 games left to play, 2 after this afternoon, a win would move them back up to 8th in the table. Here come the Villa players. Smart speaker, BBC Sounds, all Solent frequencies. Your commentary team, John Williams and Jordan Clark.
Yeah, Villa making Bournemouth wait. And also making Justin Kluivert wait on the touchline to be allowed on by the 4th official. Alex Scott off, Justin Kluivert on. Scott on a yellow card and a couple of blows to the head in the first half. Justin Kluivert, Bournemouth's top goal scorer, with 45 minutes to make a big impact as they look to get themselves back in this match. Ollie Watkins' goal in the 6th minute of first half stoppage time, after Antoine Semenyo failed to clear, separating the two teams. 45 minutes, you feel really, I think, John Williams, for Bournemouth to keep their European hopes alive.
Yes, yeah, I think we'll see more subs, by the way. I knew that one was sort of coming by the fact that he'd been booked, hadn't he? Couldn't risk him.
Referee Stuart Atwell gets us back underway in the second half. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1 at the Vitality Stadium. BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds. The Cherries red and black tops, black shorts and black socks, shooting from our left to right in this first half. Here are Aston Villa at the other end. Dean to the byline, square ball, looking for Jacob Ramsey, not dealt with by Bournemouth. Here's Kamara, edge of the box, shoots low past Kepa and wide, goal kick. Still Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1, but a lively start from the visitors.
Yeah, they caught us on the off there, gave the ball back to them twice.
Bournemouth shooting towards the Ted McDougall South stand in this second half after they were turned around, with Villa winning the toss at the start of this game. Aston Villa in white tops, white shorts and white socks, their away kit, shooting from our right to left towards the Steve Fletcher North stand. And commentating from the main stand here at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth, Kepa in goal. Adam Smith on his 400th appearance for the club at right back, alongside Zabani, Howson and Kirkes in that back four from right to left. Tyler Adams and Lewis Cook in midfield. Justin Kluivert on in the number 10 role now for this second half. Semenyo and Tavernier, the two wide men, with Evan Nilsson in the number 9 role up top. Adam Smith is on a yellow card from the first half. Bournemouth's bench are Rojo, Senesi, Brooks, he's already on, Soler, Jefferson Hill, Winterburn and Will Dennis, the substitute goalkeeper. Diagonal ball from the Cherries out to the left, and Semenyo, who chests it down and brings it under control, dribbles down the byline. Not dealt with. Here's Kluivert inside the box. Great feed from Kluivert. He's put it wide. Goal kick. Oh, he skipped past the first defender and then he couldn't get the shot on target.
Well, that was amazing skill by Kluivert. He is an absolute handful. Yeah, he has a little mazy. Oh, he just takes that extra touch, doesn't he?
Martinez did really well, Willow, and look at the replay from the other side of the pitch. He closed the angle down and Kluivert was looking for the penalty. He didn't try and shoot in the end. He smashed it straight out of play and then hit the deck looking for the penalty. Martinez knew what he was about to do and pulled out of the sliding challenge. John Williams is smiling at me because he just said to me literally before we came back on the air, Kluivert's going to win Bournemouth the penalty.
What are you guessing?
Mystic Meg here was almost spot on with Kluivert's first touch. Aston Villa then, Martinez in goal, Cash, Konsa, Mings and Dean the back four from right to left, Kamara and Onana in midfield, Asensio in the 10, Ramsey and Rogers the two wide men. Ollie Watkins is up front. Goal scorer, Villa have Martinez, Asensio and Ramsey on yellow cards. Ball into the Villa box. Tyrone Mings, the former Bournemouth defender, comes across and gets it ahead of Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson with a shoulder barge into the back of Mings, who hits the deck, and the assistant referee down to our right flags for a foul against the Cherries.
Yeah, no need for that one, and maybe a bit of frustration still in there.
Villa's bench: Disasi, Torres, Matson, Garcia, Barkley, Bailey, Mallon, McGinn, and Olsen is their sub-goalkeeper. Martinez, their captain and keeper on the pitch, will take this free kick from the left-hand side of his box, and he launches it long. The Argentinian up over the halfway line, headed away by Zabani. Here's Onana on the halfway line, cleared by Zabani again. Then Adam Smith wins the second ball and squeezes it just about to Lewis Cook in the middle of the park, and it's his sliding tackle that gets to the ball first and finds Milos Kerkez over on the left. Howson forward along the ground to Tyler Adams, who immediately turns and faces the Aston Villa goal on the halfway line, sends it out to the left in Semenyo infield to Kluivert looking lively, having just come on. Here he is, edge of the box, out to the left, and he finds Kerkez 8 yards out, cross into the box, looking for Tavernier over his head, and Deans too. Adam Smith will bring it under control, right side of the box, 16 yards out, top of the box now. Tyler Adams can't squeeze it back into Marcus Tavernier, and Aston Villa will come away with it and dribble up towards halfway. They'll send it out to the left, and Ramsey held up on the halfway line by Tyler Adams. He's slipped, and again players are slipping this afternoon, like they were against Manchester United last time out of the Vitality. Here's Tavernier to the edge of the box, square ball in. Villa just about deal with it and pass it back to Martinez. You can see the water coming up off the pitch as that ball's rolling along the edge of the 18-yard area away to our right. Good chest down and control by Evan Nilsson. Finds Semenyo, back to Evan Nilsson, doesn't find Evan Nilsson, and Tyrone Mings will clear long and direct. Zabani heads back to Kepa, and he does well, does Ilya Zabani, under pressure from Watkins to find his goalkeeper.
Yeah, excellent work by Zabani there. Just needed to get that little touch on it to see it back to the keeper.
Here's Adam Smith down the right, forward to the edge of the box. Tyrone Mings has cut it off. He's held it up and kept it in on the byline. Square ball back in field to Konsa, under pressure from Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson's barely touched him, John Williams, and he's hit the deck and he's won a free kick.
Yeah, you know, I feel like saying to Nilsson, just, you don't really have to foul him there. You don't even need to touch him. Just be in the vicinity of the ball.
Just keep the pressure on, but don't make the foul. Bournemouth are pressing high again as Aston Villa play out short from the corner. Here's Onana. Lewis Cook gets a good foot in there. Onana taking risks, trying to dribble away from Lewis Cook. Lewis Cook is still holding him up on the edge of the box. Still Onana dribbles away. Sliding tackle from Cook. Onana goes down. Whistle goes by Stuart Atwell. Home fans are getting frustrated. This game is bitty. Aston Villa are deliberately making it so. And looking at the replays, I mean, it's a foul by Lewis Cook. He can't have too many complaints, but it just breaks the play up. Onana stays down, takes any momentum out of this start to the second half that Bournemouth might have, Willow.
He's done well, Cookie, there, because he's a big lad. His flailing arms are all over him. Cookie's trying to get a hook on so he can see the ball and get a foot in.
Onana is still down just outside the D with his own 18-yard area. Now he's back up on his feet and he's absolutely fine, as you can probably tell from the ironic cheers from the home Bournemouth fans who are shouting, "You don't know what you're doing." Next weekend's FA Cup final referee Stuart Atwell, which is never a good sign.
Trying to jinx him.
Martinez takes the free kick short and forward to Kamara. Kamara will dribble up towards halfway under pressure from Kluivert. Tavernier wins it back for Bournemouth on the halfway line. Goes back to his goalkeeper Kepa. Kepa does well, moves it out of his feet quickly and finds Zabani to the right. And Bournemouth play it up to halfway. And Cook and back to Zabani now through Smith. Diagonal from Zabani from right to left, looking for Semenyo. Headed away. Another slip. This time it's Kerkez. He brings Morgan Rogers down as he slips. And the referee blows for a free kick. And Kerkez is holding his right leg and hobbling as he walks away. John Williams, I can't say I noticed it a great deal in the first half, but we had a few messages into Ian Wilding, like that Man United game, which cost Evan Nilsson so dearly the slip. Players losing their footing all over the place again on this Vitality Stadium pitch.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can suggest is that it's hard underneath and they're putting water on top. That wouldn't help.
I think you're spot on with that.
Maybe they need more water.
Like an ice rink. Free kick to Villa, halfway inside their own half. Konsa sends it long to the edge of the Bournemouth box. Howson heads back to Kepa. Cool, calm and collected from Dean Howson. Kepa drops it to the ground and will play out with his feet. Forward to Howson. Howson goes long and high down the left, looking for Semenyo. Semenyo's nudged Cash off the ball, who's hit the deck. And the referee blows for another free kick. And of all the ones that have been given recently, I'd say that was the softest of the lot.
Yeah. Seems to be getting caught up in it.
Iraola not happy. In the ear of fourth official Darren Bond, down away to our left. Villa get us back underway. Long ball forward into the Bournemouth half. One back by Smith away from Watkins. Right side, this near side. Early ball to the edge of the Villa box. Evan Nilsson wins the header back to Tavernier. Tavernier on the volley, out to the left-hand side. Picks out Semenyo along the deck. Semenyo down the line to Kirkes. Kirkes keeps it in, wins a corner for Bournemouth.
Yeah, good work there. Nice switch of play. Kirkes are eventually winning us the corner. Can we just put this one in the box, please?
They messed up two routines in the first half, did Bournemouth. And just to let you know, John Williams, Antoine Semenyo is stood on the corner of the box again, where he's been stood for those last two routines. Kirkes, I think, is meant to be involved, but is struggling. So he's going to go back to halfway and he's sending Adam Smith forward instead. It does come into the box from Cook to the front post. Onana heads it straight up into the air and out of play. Another corner to Bournemouth. Not a great delivery from Lewis Cook. He'll get another chance to make amends.
Just have a look in there. We need someone who can get across the first man.
Kluivert's at the front post. Zabani stood on the keeper Martinez. Howson's by the penalty spot. To the front post again. Not dealt with by Villa. The ball's bouncing inside the 6-yard area. Martinez catches it.
Dear me. Not many people reacted to that one, did they? Just a couple of bounces. The keeper was on it.
They're trying to make it congested for Martinez. Well, I'm surprised though, because he's very good with, coming and claiming the ball. That all the crosses Bournemouth are putting in, they're really close to Martinez. And they're messing around with it on the edge of their own box, and Kluivert's nicked it back. Konsa's gone down. Free kick to Aston Villa again on the edge of their own 18-yard area. And Justin Kluivert is holding his hands in prayer and looking at the sky and saying, please, please let us get away with one.
Didn't look that much of a foul, did it? I think there was a bit of a slipping in there, wasn't there?
Stuart Atwell is not having that Bournemouth high press this afternoon and the aggression involved in it. And now Sean Cooper and Tommy Elphick are in the ear of the fourth official too. Ball's outside the centre circle. Here's Luca Dean on the halfway line. Lifted over the top, looking for Ilya Zabani. Bounces into the Bournemouth box and Kepa will bring it under control with his feet and pass it out quickly to Dean Howson. Bournemouth with a draw last time out here against Villa, 2-2, and 2 wins before that, 2-0 and 2-1.
Just starting to think about substitutes. I think Tav's been a bit quiet.
Straight out of play. I'm thinking David Brooks.
Yeah.
Your only other attacking options, Jefferson and Winterburn, or you're bringing on a fullback in Araujo or Soler maybe to play higher up.
Well, he does like to take Smithy off, doesn't he, in terms of putting Cookie at right back, and he has been booked, so perhaps here you go that line.
Yeah, Tavernier might move central. We've seen that in the last couple of weeks. Maybe Brooks on the wing or into the middle and Kluivert out wide. We've seen that a little bit too. He will tinker with it, especially as long as the scoreline stays like it is. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1, approaching the hour mark at the Vitality Stadium. BBC Radio Solent, the BBC Sounds app across the UK, your smart speakers if you ask them to play BBC Radio Solent. And a warm welcome to you if you're listening around the world via the AFC Bournemouth website. Here's Dean Howson out to the left in Kirkes, 25 yards out. Tight to the touchline in front of the travelling Aston Villa supporters in the East Stand. Howson's in a left winger position at the moment. Lays it forward to Kirkes. Kirkes is cross in. Blocked by Kamara behind. Another corner to Bournemouth. Their third of this second half.
Yeah, building a little bit of pressure, but it's not prompting any sort of panic by Aston Villa.
Again, Lewis Cook will jog over to retrieve the ball and take this corner. Again, Semenyo, edge of the box, along with Smith. Kirkes is back towards the centre circle. Cook delivers, curling to the front post, and again it's straight into the arms of Martinez, and it's a comfortable catch for him.
Don't like that when they're catching them round their waist. Somebody's got to get closer.
What have they seen, Willow? They're obviously targeting something at the front post that they think they can exploit, but it's just not. It's not happening for them with those corners.
Five corners and we ain't produced anything.
But they keep trying it, so they obviously feel there's something there. Ball's now out on the halfway line. Kirkes is in a wrestling match with Ollie Watkins, who's given away a foul, and Watkins punches the ground in frustration and then turns to the referee, who just shrugs his shoulders. Kirkes had an awful lot of Ollie Watkins' shirt there, and maybe you can understand why Ollie Watkins is so frustrated. Willow's smiling.
Yeah.
Long ball from Bournemouth out to the left. Semenyo's kept it in, under pressure from Matty Cash. He hasn't kept it in, it's gone out of play. It's a throw into Aston Villa in the right back position. It's a scrappy game. It's not been a great watch so far, Willow.
No, it hasn't. Both teams, like you say, it's been a bit of a chess match, trying to outdo each other with different sort of moves.
Remember, Bournemouth dropped down to 10th after the 3 o'clock results. The win for Brentford and Brighton. Stay above Fulham in 11th, who lost 3-1 at home to Everton. So a point not enough to change Bournemouth's league position. A win would take them back up to 8th. They have got 30 minutes, half an hour, to find a couple of goals.
What is he
more
giving
frustration,
there?
Another free kick given against Bournemouth. Marcus Tavernier with the foul on Luca Dean. Tommy Elphick furious. Andoni Iraola furious. In the ear again as the fourth official, Darren Bond.
It's like he's the only one on that occasion who's seen the incident. Nobody else was interested in it being a free kick or a foul.
Game's just not flowing. Even the hint of an aggressive tackle from Bournemouth this evening is being penalised. Asensio diagonal with the free kick out to the right. Matty Cash has to head it up into the sky because there was too much fizz on it for him. Then Semenyo wins the second header, and there's a high foot from Onana on Justin Kluivert. Free kick to the Cherries. Tavernier's been given the nod to swap wings, I think, with Semenyo.
Right.
But they're just going to hold off until this play is over with. Bournemouth passing it around along their back line at the moment. Halfway inside their own half. Forward from Zabani to the feet of
What
Evan
a
Nilsson.
touch.
Evan Nilsson under pressure from Mings. Stops it dead and then draws the foul in from Mings. Free kick to the Cherries just outside the centre circle. Taken square to the left in Howson. Howson dribbling forward. Finds Semenyo. Left side of the Villa box. Square ball in looking for Kluivert. Caught off by Onana. Out of play. Throw into the Cherries. And Semenyo's just been given the signal from Andoni Iraola. Long throw. And Semenyo, they've got the towel over there ready. The old beer mat is being used to dry off the football on the cone. Semenyo sits down again on the advertising boards in front of the Villa fans opposite us. 18 yards out, left side, long throw into the box. Martinez comes out and plucks it out of the sky again. And Bournemouth just aren't learning their lessons with the big Argentinian. He gobbles everything up that comes into the box, and they keep putting it too close to him. John Williams.
Well, the first thing, you've got to put a blocker on him, and the second thing is throw it to the penalty spot, not to the near post if he's catching them.
Onana inside the centre circle. Skips away from Lewis Cook. Evan Nilsson's trying to get back, but can't. Onana's still going. Play on, says the referee, as he has his ankles clipped by Evan Nilsson. Luca Dean's down the left. Ball into the box, looking for Morgan Rogers. Ilya Zabani comes across, puts it out of play. Throw into Aston Villa. Andoni Iraola returns to his dugout, takes out a bit of paper from his pocket and starts to write some notes down. Bournemouth have got Araujo, Brooks, Jefferson warming up away to our left. Marcos Senesi's out there too. Long throw for Villa now, about to come in from Luca Dean. He leans back on the advertising boards. Still we wait. Referee's trying to give him the hurry up, and still Luca Dean tries to take some time out of the game. launches it into the box, flicked on by Mings but not well enough. Zabani wins the second header, and Justin Kluivert gets there first. Luca Dean brings him down. Free kick to Bournemouth.
I'm not sure that was a foul.
I think it was. I think it was clever though from Kluivert. He created.
Yeah.
Can we say that? Created the foul.
Invented.
He ran into the player, and then fell to the ground beautifully afterwards. One back. Lewis Cook on the halfway line. His ball forward is cut off. Luca Dean has it now and goes back to Martinez. And you have to say Aston Villa, Willow, having taken that 1-0 lead, are looking pretty comfortable now, just controlling it, and they're now playing along their own 6-yard line. And Tyrone Mings is now by the corner flag away to our left. His clearance is charged down by Evan Nilsson. Out of play. Throw into Villa.
I'm afraid I'd have to agree with that. They look, as the game goes on, more and more comfortable. But that's not to say that we can't. While it's 1-0, we're always got a chance. There's always a threat. Subs coming on.
David Brooks is preparing to come on for Bournemouth. I think it's just the one change. I can't see anyone else at the moment to try and unlock this Aston Villa defence. And again, it's such a tight game. He's the kind of player that can create something like that. Just a moment of magic. Do you know what Bournemouth need, really?
Do you know Evan Nielsen? You know, centre forwards, they're generally pretty bright people, you know, in the head as well as feet and body. What they get done for offside by half a yard is beyond me.
Martinez, long ball forward from the back from Villa to the edge of the Bournemouth box. Watkins is battling with Zabani on the edge of the area. He's been pushed wide left by the corner flag now. Zabani still marking Watkins. Villa are about to introduce John McGinn too. Here's Onana. Watkins has done well to shift it infield to Onana. And then they find Konsa just outside the centre circle. He lifts it out to the right in the air, and Mati Kashi brings it under control. Square ball infield to Kamara. Onana again now, about 25 yards out, central position. Back to his right, he finds the pass to Kamara. And then Mati Cash, 18 yards out, right side of the Bournemouth box, cross into the area. Dean Howson heads away and clears the 18-yard box. And then Marcus Tavernier brings it under control and gets away from Mati Cash and sends it down the line. And Kluivert is flying forward now down the left. He's got Evan Nilsson ahead of him. Villa have got men back in numbers now, so Kluivert just checks back towards the halfway line, holds up the play, waits for more support to arrive. Tavernier does down the left, early cross in, charged down by Kamara, corner to Bournemouth.
He's made an impact, Kluivert, already, hasn't he? He's such a lively spirit on the pitch.
Yeah, he definitely has. Evan Nilsson just drops down to his haunches inside the 6-yard area and try and get his breath back after that sprint forward for that attack. Still we wait for the changes to be made. David Brooks any moment now. Double change for Villa. John McGinn and someone else who I can't see down behind the dugouts at the moment about to come on. Meanwhile, corner to the Cherries. Can they get a set piece right this afternoon? Lewis Cook places it down. This will be right footed, in swinging again. It's to the back post and headed away. I say again, all the rest have gone to the front post. It looked like it was travelling in that direction, but it kept going and going, looking for Evan Nilsson. But Villa did well to clear. And it's on the halfway line now with Milos Kerkez. Kerkez hooks it back into the Villa half. Adam Smith chests it down to Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson brings it under control, under pressure from Asensio. And away from Asensio. Asensio fouls. Free kick to Bournemouth. Remember, he's on a yellow card. Free kick to the Cherries. Just a free kick. Still we wait for the changes.
Who kicked the ball away?
Not sure. Didn't see. I think it's going to be Pal Torres who's going to come on for Villa too. Away to our left, but still we wait because Iraola wants this free kick first, and so does Emery. It is halfway inside the Villa half. It's to the right of centre. It's Lewis Cook and Marcus Tavernier stood over it. Dean Howson is to the edge of the box with Zabani, been sent forward. It's going to be the right foot of Cook. It's curling, it drops inside the area. Semenyo has it now edge of the box. Squeeze for room. Tyler Adams works it back out to the right, and Tavernier curls a cross in, deflects off of Ramsey straight up into the air. And out of play, throw into Bournemouth down this near right hand side. Tavernier takes it quickly. Infield to Cook. Cook turns away from Asensio and then back towards the centre circle and Tyler Adams. Here's Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo will lay it out to the right and Marcus Tavernier. Tavernier goes back to Cook and there's space for Smith down the right. He looks up, delivers a cross in. Evan Nilsson heads goalwards, held well wide. Goal kick. Still Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1. We're approaching the final 20 minutes of this game. Changes coming up for both sides.
Double substitution for Aston Villa.
John McGinn is coming on from Marco Asensio.
7, John McGinn.
And they're also bringing Pau Torres on for Tyrone Mings at centre back. So like for like. And Mings, the former Cherries player, is being booed off. That is all to do with his collision with Alex Scott in the first half, where his elbow caught Scott flush in the face. It was deemed accidental.
Yeah.
And on comes
Cookie's
David
gone to
Brooks
right
for
back.
Bournemouth. Lewis Cook takes the captain's armband. Adam Smith, 400th appearance for the Cherries is done. Not a yellow card, remember.
Fantastic achievement.
So Cook to right back. Brooks has gone central. Semenyo's down the right now. Tavernier's down the left. Kluivert still in the 10. So David Brooks into central midfield alongside Tyler Adams. Willow, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I would have done the same. Yeah, just a different selection on who were taken off though.
Lewis Cook's first job at right back is to slice it straight out of play. Bournemouth winless in their last 4 against Aston Villa. Haven't beaten them since a 2-0 victory here in 2022 under Scott Parker. In the first game, cross into the Bournemouth box. Kepa comes out and claims and then rolls it out quickly to Kirkes. It's their first win back in the Premier League, that one against Villa. Not long before Scott Parker then departed. Here's Kluivert, left side of the Villa box. Just holds it up and goes back to Tavernier. Square ball infield to Tyler Adams, halfway inside the Villa half. Here's David Brooks, edge of the area. Semenyo joins in. Evan Nilsson's out there too, trying to roll the ball around his feet and then dribble into some space, but Villa get it away. Bournemouth win it back on the halfway line.
Yeah, there's good skill there to start with, but then just got stuck under his feet, and very difficult when you've got 3 round you.
It's the voice of John Williams. Here's Justin Kluivert, edge of the box, lays it into the path of Tavernier, too much on it. Martinez comes out, slides to the ground at the feet of Tavernier and gets there first. Still Bournemouth 0, Villa 1.
Oh, that was all about weight and pass. If he could have just took 2 yards out of it, I think he could have been on that.
Villa play it out. Martinez drops it to the ground. Onana then finds Torres, left side of the box. Torres just holds it up and then goes back to Martinez, who just coolly touches it away from the onrushing Kluivert and then clears out of play. Throw into Bournemouth, nearly on the halfway line down this near right hand side.
Oh, that's
heavy back pass from Zabani to Kepa, who had to change the direction of his run and then bring it under control on his thigh as it bounced up in front of him. Not the kindest of back passes, John Williams.
Coming in hot is what they call it.
He did well, did Kepa. Made a brilliant double save in the first half, did Kepa, to deny Kamara and then Cash. Here's Kluivert trying to play Cook down the right hand side, cut off and telegraphed by Ramsey, and Villa have it just outside the centre circle, inside their own half at the moment, and Ramsey will send it out to the right, and Konsa back in field to Ramsey again. Ramsey forward, but he's passed it straight to Tavernier on the halfway line. Then Cash nicks it back away from Tavernier. It's been such a scrappy and poor game really throughout, and then Tavernier wins it back away from Morgan Rogers, and Villa have it back now inside the centre circle. It's not been a pretty watch. Here's Kirkes on halfway. Bournemouth just haven't looked dangerous enough in the final third, and he gives it away. Well, it's won back by Ollie Watkins, who then passed it straight to Howson.
Basketball at the moment. You have it, we have it.
Here's Kluivert over on the left. East Stand still bathed in sunshine. A Approaching the final 15 minutes of this game. A goal in it, Bournemouth still in it. Ollie Watkins in the 6th minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half is what separates the two teams. Here's Ilya Zabani winning it back away from Watkins, who stayed down injured. Zabani doesn't care, he's playing on. Forward to Brooks on the halfway line. Brooks down the right wing. Finds Semenyo 20 yards out. Semenyo just holds the ball up, waits for support to arrive. Ollie Watkins is still down away to our left. Forward from Brooks to the edge of the box. Evan Nilsson slips over, but does release it back to Brooks, who then sends it out to the left in Kirkes. Howson finds Tavernier, infield and square, about 25 yards out to Kluivert. And they work it from left to right now in Adams. Brooks joins in again through the middle. Finds Semenyo just outside the D. Semenyo squeezed for room. Villa with everyone back behind the ball apart from the injured Ollie Watkins away to our left, who is now back up on his feet.
I think he knew what he was doing.
Here's Tavernier down the left, down the line. He finds Kluivert. Appeals for offside from Villa. Ball into the box from Tavernier. Cleared at the front post by Konsa. Flag stayed down as it always does these days. Here's Kirkes. Forward to Kluivert. Kluivert down the line to Kirkes to the byline. Square ball in. Cut off by Villa behind. Corner to Bournemouth. And they need to keep this one away from Martinez.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look, see if we...
Substitution for the Tories with Las Vegas. Show your appreciation, please.
Change for Bournemouth.
For number 12, Tyler Adams.
Birthday boy Marcos Senesi's coming on. Tyler Adams is off and he sprints straight off behind the goal. On comes Senesi. Is he going up top, Willow? Lewis Cook is coming over now to say what's going on here, how are we going to play? 3 centre-backs and wing-backs, I think, is the message from Sean Cooper and Tommy Elphick.
5, yeah.
Cook's off the corners. Justin Kluivert's going to take this one. Over on the far side, Justin Kluivert, right-footed, under the crossbar. Martinez is on the deck and in the goal, and the whistle goes. It's clever from Martinez. He's holding his left buttock, and he's making out like he was shoved into the net. I can't work the tactic out, Will. I know they've surrounded him more there, but why they keep...
But the one thing you've got to do, if you've got enough men...
I've just seen the replay. There's no one near him. He's just his own players pushed him over.
Yeah.
And you give them the opportunity to do that.
Yes. I mean, but that shouldn't have been given as a foul.
That tactic is just not working.
No, absolutely.
From the corner, putting it under the crossbar. If he's not catching it, he's falling over. In either way, it's game over as far as the corner's concerned on every occasion. With Luca Dean on the halfway line. Hooks it back into the Bournemouth half. Dean Howson brings it under control under the header from Zabani, and space for Tavernier now on halfway. He's got Kirkes flying forward ahead of him down the left. Kirkes has the ball at his feet now, left side of the box. Kluivert, Evan Nilsson and Semenyo are inside the area. Kirkes, Tavernier and Kluivert get it all wrong over on the left, trying to play it down the line. Goal kick to Villa. They lead by 1-0. We've got less than 15 minutes to go. Time ticking away for Bournemouth.
Just a bit of lack of communication there. Kirkes was a willing runner. Yeah, just couldn't get beyond the offside trap. Only has to be another 2 or 3 mile an hour and the ball's gone, especially on this surface.
I feel like, Willow, this is where we see, the issues they have with the wingers being out injured and the lack of options on the bench. They've had to bring Senesi on to go to 3 central defenders. There's Ramsey away from Zabani. Zabani pulls him down. Yellow card to Ilya Zabani. Free kick to Villa. About 25 yards out. The ideal change in these scenarios for Andoni Iraola is chucking on Ouattara and Sinisterra.
Yeah,
and they're just
definitely that.
This second half of the season, the wingers just haven't been available enough for him. Really feel that's something they've got to look at in the summer with the recruitment. The resilience, maybe, of their wingers. Semenyo, the only one who's been fit throughout the course of the season. Tavernier's had multiple injuries. Ouattara's gone now maybe for the final 3 games. Sinisterra's barely played.
It's not a new thing, wingers getting injured though.
No, I know. McGinn, ball into the box, bounces past everyone, out of play, goal kick to the Cherries.
Trying to break out here, but it's not going to happen.
And you're right, maybe whoever they sign, the style of play that Bournemouth have in the running that the wingers put in and the intensity they play at, maybe whoever they sign, they're going to have injuries cropping up over the course of a season. Maybe they need to sign 6 wingers.
Because they're generally very quick. That's probably the origins of the injuries.
Here's Kamara. Ball to the edge of the Bournemouth box. Morgan Rogers, left side of the area. Held up by Howson. Still Morgan Rogers has it. Doesn't get past Dean Howson. Howson wins it back. Wants a free kick. Gets pushed over by Morgan Rogers. Referee says no. He's barely given Bournemouth anything this afternoon, and he's not giving them that one either. Luca Dean dries the ball off on his shirt, and he's going to send a long throw in to the edge of the Bournemouth 6-yard line. Leans back on the advertising boards, about 6 yards out, launches the throw into the 6-yard box, headed away by Howson. Zabani was there too. David Brooks dribbles away with it from the edge of the box, out to this near right hand side. He gets clipped, goes over. Free kick to the Cherries. Jacob Ramsey, second yellow card. He is off. Aston Villa are down to 10 men, and Bournemouth are going to have 10 minutes against 10 to try and get themselves an equaliser and maybe a winner. The game swings again.
Well, I would say that's really naive by him as well. There's no way he was getting back in front of Brooksy.
But as we know, Willow, going down to 10.
He will miss some important games coming up, I think. Not that it matters to us.
Well, it's 2 yellow, so he'll miss their next one, which is Tottenham at home. Here's David Brooks. Can Bournemouth make the extra man count? Semenyo in the box, shoots just wide.
Oh dear me!
Nearly instantly did they make that extra man count. Semenyo with ease turned away from his man, and he couldn't get the right-footed shot on target. Bournemouth still 1-0 down, but now perhaps their confidence will build. John Williams.
Oh, it was an excellent turn. Left the boy for dead, and just a little bit, about 10 inches past the far post. Get it into Semenyo's feet more often, if that's what he does on the edge of the box.
Long clearance from Martinez into the Bournemouth half. Howson heads back to his goalkeeper Kepa. Could be in for a cracking finale here at the Vitality Stadium now. Bournemouth down the left. Tavernier just holds play up halfway inside the Villa half, dribbles infield, finds Howson just outside the centre circle. Howson forward to David Brooks. Brooks 20 yards out, lifts one into the box. Evan Nilsson with a header saved by Martinez. Oh, it would have been a beautiful goal. It was brilliant from Brooks with the outside of the left boot. Another Evan Nilsson header saved by Martinez, corner to Bournemouth.
Oh, what a great ball in. I have to say, if it's that height, you have to find the corners.
Corner to the Cherries. Tavernier will deliver. Left-footed. It's curling to the back post. Headed away by Villa. Here's Semenyo, edge of the area. Looks up, lays it into the box. Here's David Brooks, onto his left foot. Lays it off to Kluivert. Stands it up to the back post. Headed away by Torres. Out to Kirkes with the shot. Cleared by Villa. Bournemouth want a handball. No, says Stuart Atwell. They'll check it back in Stockley Park. Yellow card for Howson for getting right in the face of the referee, appealing for a penalty. Either way, it'll be a corner to Bournemouth.
Do you know the thing that just watching it again? Handball.
Kirkes with the shot.
No, it's at his elbow.
He's got his arms tucked in. He turned away. Cries of VAR around the Vitality Stadium. You're not going to get that one.
The only thing is, they know it's going to go to Stockley Park. Why risk getting booked?
It's hit. Yeah. Oh, it's the emotion of it for Howson, isn't it?
I've been there and done it myself, of course.
Both Bournemouth centre-backs on yellow cards now. Corner to the Cherries. Check complete. Not that they really needed one. Kluivert will deliver over on the right. It's curling, it's under the crossbar. Senesi's gone down inside the box along with Kamara. Stuart Atwell's blown his whistle and he's calling both players over, I think. No idea what happened. It was out of my eye line, looking at the corner being taken.
I was watching the goalkeeper.
All sorts of shenanigans have been going on inside the box today. The ball's back with Kluivert. They're going to retake the corner. Stuart Atwell coming in for some flack again.
At the one time, I was determined to see the goalkeeper who was just faking stuff.
If Bournemouth nick one here, Willow, you really feel they could go on and get a second.
Absolutely.
The atmosphere in this place will really lift. But they've got to find that equaliser first. They've got 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Aston Villa are down to 10. Jacob Ramsey's been sent off for 2 yellow cards. Taken quick by Kluivert and Shaw. Semenyo crosses to the back post. Poor from Semenyo. Really poor. Out of play. Goal kick to Villa. Something was going on inside the box again then, because the fans were irate around us.
Ivan Nielsen it was. He got pushed.
Change coming up for Bournemouth. Julian Araujo's going to come on for the Cherries. Another interesting change from Andoni Iraola. He's got Daniel Jefferson on there. Ben Winterburn, an attacking midfielder. He's going for the right back, and Jefferson too, in fact, who's just appeared with his tracksuit off from the dugout. Red and black top on, ready to go. Long clearance from the goal kick by Martinez. Bournemouth 0, Villa 1. BBC Radio Solent, BBC Sounds. They've got to be alert at the other end. Morgan Rogers into the box. Howson gets a foot in there, and then Lewis Cook. But it's with McGinn on the edge of the area. Finds Onana just inside the Bournemouth box, right side of it. Lifts one goalwards. Kepa comes out and smothers it. Alert to the danger, and then bowls it out quickly to the left in Kirkes. And Kirkes has got room and space to fly into. Passes it forward into the Villa half and finds Kluivert down the line. Over in front of the East stand. Kluivert skips in onto his right foot. Back to Kirkes, left side of the box. Cross in to Zabani with the header goalwards. Straight into the arms of Martinez.
Brooksy's on the edge of the box. The right one was just to set it up for Brooksy. Look, he's never going to score from that far out.
Never getting enough power, Willow.
No.
Never getting enough distance away from Martinez to trouble him.
Yeah, Brooksy was just waiting.
Still we wait for that double change. Martinez volleys clear. 4 minutes to go. Bournemouth a goal down. Big implications in the race for Europe this result will have, after wins for Brentford and Brighton earlier on today. Here's Senesi dribbling forward up towards halfway. Out to Tavernier down the left. Bournemouth have got men forward in big numbers. Tavernier's cross is charged down. Back out to Kirkes. Ball still over on the left. 18 yards out. Tavernier. Back to Kirkes again. And then Lewis Cook, who's over on the left-hand side. Kluivert sprints over there to receive the ball. Here is Kluivert, edge of the box. And Kirkes back out to the left in Tavernier. Tavernier, left-footed cross in. Too close again to Martinez, who just plucks it out of the sky. They're not learning their lessons.
No, that one was right down his throat again. He's so confident about coming for them as well. That doesn't help.
Still we wait for Martinez to clear from the back. Not that we're in second half stoppage time yet, but Bournemouth have scored 8 goals in second half stoppage time, the most in the Premier League. Aston Villa have conceded 8 in second half stoppage time. Only Southampton have conceded more than Aston Villa at the end of a game. Maybe that'll give you some hope.
Can take a centre half off.
Double change for the Cherries. Ilya Zabani off. Julian Araujo on.
Number 22, Julian Araujo.
Second change. Daniel Jefferson on. Milos Kirkes off.
21, Daniel Jefferson.
So who's going to left back, Willow? Marcus Tavernier. Villa have got Morgan Rogers sat down inside the centre circle, trying to waste some time, because Ian Matson's about to come on, and it is Morgan Rogers who's coming off, so he just thought he'd have a sit down, have a little rest before walking off the side of the pitch.
27, Morgan
Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1 on BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds. Ollie Watkins' goal in the 6th minute of first half stoppage time is what's given Villa that lead. The game swung in the 80th minute when Jacob Ramsey was sent off for a second yellow card. Bournemouth unable to make the extra man count so far since that red card. Semenyo has fired just wide, and Zabani has seen his header go straight into the arms of Emiliano Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper. Clock's ticking, time's running out. We've got a minute plus stoppage time to go. Lewis Cook wins the header. Semenyo flicks on. Evan Nilsson with another one. Ball's bouncing around just outside the centre circle, and Villa win it back and give it to McGinn. McGinn forward to Ollie Watkins, who sends it out to the right, looking for Marcos Senesi to come across and do some defending, and he does, and he wins a throw-in for the Cherries. Brilliant from Senesi.
That was brilliant. I don't know how he's come out with the ball. He was the wrong side of it.
Throw-in's taken down the line, and Jefferson gets his first touch away from trouble and then switches it to Araujo. Araujo trying to dribble forward is held up by Maatsen. And here's David Brooks on the halfway line. Tommy Elphick's urging the Bournemouth players forward on the touchline. Brooks to his left, and he finds the feed of Lewis Cook in the captain's armband now for Bournemouth. They'll send it out to the left, and Tavernier 20 yards out. Justin Kluivert has it on the touchline. Down the line to Tavernier. Back to Lewis Cook. Cook to the top of the box in the feed of David Brooks. Brooks turns to face the Villa goal, lays it into the area, finds Tavernier. Tavernier almost gives it away, but keeps hold of the ball. Finds Kluivert again, just to the left corner of the box. Senesi's there, he lifts one into the area, looking for Jefferson, headed away by Villa. 5 minutes of stoppage time for Bournemouth to find an equaliser. Semenyo down the right touchline, crosses, cut off by Maatsen, corner to the Cherries.
Brooks is going to take it. Oh, because he's going to take it quick then.
What's your advice to David Brooks?
Keep it away from the keeper.
Thank you. David Brooks, right arm up in the air, left-footed corner, curling towards the back post, headed up into the air by Konsa, headed goalwards by Senesi and headed wide, goal kick. Bournemouth the goal down.
That was a decent ball in by Brooksy.
Bournemouth the goal down, Villa down to 10, Konsa given a yellow card for kicking the ball away.
Yeah, that's a pretty immediate thing nowadays, isn't it? As soon as you've kicked it away, you're in the book.
1 minute of the 5 stoppage time gone. Still we wait for the Martinez goal kick. He launches it long into the Bournemouth half. Senesi's beaten to the header by Watkins, but Howson is sweeping up behind him. Howson goes back to Kepa. Kepa under pressure from Watkins with a square ball to his left to Howson. Howson has to go back to Kepa. Not where Bournemouth want to be with 3.5 minutes to go. They'll play it out to Araujo, then back to David Brooks, who's dropped into a centre-back role to receive the pass and try and make something happen for the Cherries. He does dribble up to halfway as Aston Villa retreat. Still David Brooks dribbles forward, sends it out to the left along the ground to Kluivert. Kluivert, left corner of the box, cuts infield onto his right foot, finds David Brooks again, dinks one over the top, too much on it, into the arms of Martinez, who then falls to the ground.
Yeah, as you say, just that little bit extra that makes the ball fly off the turf, through to the keeper.
And Evan Nilsson's gone and stood right next to Martinez, who has eventually got to his feet, and he's taking every one of his 6 seconds he's got available before volleying long into the Bournemouth half, all the way through to his opposite number, Kepa. Howson just came across to cut off the run of Ollie Watkins and stop him from putting pressure onto Kepa. And now David Brooks is dribbling forward, lays it out to the right. Bournemouth a goal down, ball into the box, headed away by Konsa. David Brooks flicks it back towards Howson on the halfway line. Howson can't find Brooks with the return pass, but Brooks has nicked it away from Ollie Watkins and done well. 2 minutes of stoppage time left. Bournemouth 0, Villa 1. Villa down to 10. Ramsey sent off. Tavernier wins a throw-in over on the left-hand side. Are they going to wait for Semenyo? No, they don't take the long one. They take it quickly to Senesi. Square to the right and Kluivert. Even a point could be massive in terms of the end of the season for the Cherries. Brooks to the edge of the box and Cook falls over as he kicks it goalwards, and it's out of play. It's a goal kick to Aston Villa, and the Cherries fans are starting to leave. They don't think that equaliser is coming.
No, it's been really difficult, hasn't it? We haven't really unlocked just Semenyo with that turn and shot. It's about the closest we've come.
Goal kick to Villa. Martinez just launches it into the Bournemouth half. Howson heads away on the edge of his own 18-yard area. Jefferson flicks it out to the left in Tavernier. There's still time for Bournemouth if they want it. 1 minute to go. A goal down against Villa. Here's Tavernier. Held up halfway inside the Villa half. Square ball to the right in Brooks. They need something special. They need a moment of magic. Here is Tavernier. Cross into the box, to the back post. Semenyo keeps it in. Across the face of goal. And Jefferson's headed over from about a yard out. He was falling over and into the net. It was a really difficult chance. But that was Bournemouth's moment and they've not taken it. Goal kick.
Well, that was quite amazing. Oh, it's a save.
Oh, it's a brilliant save from Martinez from Semenyo. Semenyo side foots it down. Martinez heads away. It's a really tough chance at the back post for Jefferson.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't even know physically how he keeps that down.
Semenyo's the chance.
Was Semenyo shooting or was he trying to square it? I'm not quite sure.
He could edge his bets. I think he's just trying to get a foot on it.
The 5 minutes of stoppage time is up. We're at the referee Stuart Atwell's discretion now. Bournemouth the goal down to Villa. John McGinn flying down the right, hits the deck, throw into the Cherries. Senesi square to David Brooks. Bournemouth still on the edge of their own 18-yard area. Villa appealing to the referee for the full-time whistle, who duly obliges. Full-time. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1. Aston Villa's hopes of qualifying for the Champions League again given a huge boost, and in the process they dent Bournemouth's hopes of qualifying for Europe for the first time in the club's history quite significantly after wins for Brentford and Brighton today. The Cherries will stay 10th in the table, 2 points behind Brentford and Brighton, with 2 games to go, and one of them being away at Manchester City, a ground where they have only ever been beaten. John Williams.
Yes, it was one of them days, wasn't it? We've come up against some really good opponents this season, and this particular one, you have to say, is a really good organised Aston Villa team. He's got them defending with a really high line. They're very difficult to break down if you do go over the top. They've got pace in the right places. And as much as we huffed and puffed until the end, Semenyo, if he can get it was difficult because it was quite a hot cross that came in, and he's dangling a foot trying to get on the end of it. He did get some contact, but the keeper's pulled a fingertip save out to keep it out of the goal. So it's been a real difficult day for us, and Aston Villa will probably say we kept you at bay as well as getting a goal.
Bournemouth stay 10th, Brighton in 9th on 55 points, 2 ahead of the Cherries. Brentford in 8th in that position, which we don't know yet, might mean European football next season on 55. They have the better of the run-in of the teams, Brentford with Fulham and Wolves to play. Brighton have Liverpool and Spurs, Bournemouth, Man City and Leicester to come. Fulham will probably feel they might be out of it now, although not mathematically in 11th, having lost today on 51 points. They still have to play Brentford, but they also have to take on Man City on the final game of the season. Aston Villa themselves up to 6th and level on points with Chelsea in 5th and Newcastle in 4th in those final 2 Champions League spots. Real disappointment here at the Vitality Stadium this evening. You can see it on the faces of the Bournemouth players as they just head round the ground and show their appreciation to the home fans, and now back down the tunnel. Post-match reaction to come if we can bring it to you between now and 8 o'clock. More from John Williams too. Let's hear your thoughts Is that the European dream done and dusted, or do you still hold and maintain some hope that Bournemouth can find something away at Manchester City a week on Tuesday, and then at home to Leicester, where we'll need other results to go their way too? At Solent Sport, please, for your reaction on X, on social media. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Make Solent the first word of your message. Do the same on the text. The number you need is 81333. Full time at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Noel says very much a case of after the Lord Mayor's show, because Cherry's European hopes are now looking a lot less likely than they did at 5:30 this evening.
Here's Rodgers into the front post, and it's gone in all the way past Kepa. Anton Semenyo didn't get the ball clear on the wing, and Villa make Bournemouth pay deep into first half stoppage time. Bournemouth 0, Villa 1.
Well, Simon Rusk and James Bree from a Southampton perspective, that's available now on BBC Sounds after the 0-0 draw at home to Manchester City moves Saints up to 12 points and off the dreaded 11-point mark as well. But what about these comments from Ruben Diaz, the Manchester City player, after the game, saying frustrating to play a team like them. They don't even try to play. Not good for the league. And he said a lot more as well besides. 81333 on the text if you want to respond to that. If you want to respond to Bournemouth's performance tonight, Solent your first word. WhatsApp 08000 321 333 at Solent Sport on X. And like Clarkey said, Andoni Iraola will try and bring that for you before 8, the head coach and a player. All of that going up on BBC Sounds as well. You can just subscribe as well to our BBC Sounds page. Keep your push notifications on and you'll get a notification as soon as all of our content is uploaded on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Hello, I'm Ian Wilding. Let's bring in John Williams, then ex-Cherries defender and assistant manager. And that's a tough one to take, Willow, isn't it, this evening?
But this is what you come up against when you're playing in the Premiership, isn't it? It's real tough some days, and we come up against an Aston Villa side that are really very, very well organised. You know, they keep a high line. They try to win the ball back early, and it's difficult to play against. We did create a couple of chances. Both of them fell to Semenyo. One with a turn and shot from the edge of the box, which was a great turn actually. I wondered why we haven't pushed the ball into him more like that, and if you can spin like that and get a shot away, it could be something in it. And of course the one at the end was a great cross from Tav right to the far post, and Semenyo, he just tries to get something on it. He's dangling his leg. I think he just got the slightest of touches, and of course the keeper pulls out an absolute worldly save with his fingertips. So, you know, we've been on a great run. Can't be too down because of the way things have gone. I think just sometimes when you come up against a side like Aston Villa, you better have everybody who is available fit, or otherwise you'll probably get found out.
And with Fulham losing at home to Everton today, so Fulham and Bournemouth both suffering defeat in the European chase, but Brentford with a 1-0 win at Ipswich, and then Brighton winning 2-0 at Wolves, Willow. So Bournemouth staying 10th with 53 points from 36, 2 points behind Brighton and Brentford now with 2 matches left to play. Would have moved back up to the top 8, but then with Manchester City away now, you've got to win your last 2. As difficult as that's going to be with Leicester at home, last match of the campaign.
But to be fair, we've been saying that all season, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
You know, Man City's coming up, Liverpool, Man United, all the teams, every game is super difficult, and you have to be absolutely everybody on it. If possible, you have to get your fittest team out, your strongest team in terms of having players injured, if they're the people who would be in the team. It makes it very, very difficult to go to these places. But you know, we can go there with optimism. Southampton have drew with them today. I imagine that's stinging for Man City, and we'll see how we can go about it and break them down. We've done it once this season, so let's see if we can get up there and do it again.
Ross in Plympton says Boscombe can have no complaints. Villa always had the match under control, never under pressure. Neil of Swanage, disappointment, very scrappy game. I believe we can beat City and certainly Leicester. Look at Saints today, as Willow just said there. Still a brilliant season for us Cherries fans, whatever happens. And this one says terrible game of football, nothing in the final third, no height, no heart and no fight. Would be a miracle if we get to Europe now. Pompey Dave wishes Willow all the best as well and asks, do you think they'd have a squad for the Premier League and Europe if they were to get there? Solent Sport, BBC Radio Solent, 81333 on the text and on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start your message with Solent or at Solent Sport on X. Willow, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? Really, because of last week, that win at Arsenal, you think, oh, outsiders, and then all of a sudden you think, well, hang on a minute. But that's football for you.
Expectation, isn't it? That's what happens with when anything, especially regarding football, when it's going well, you just want to, and your supporters, you push it along too. You just got to keep you want to play, you want to win games, you want to win them well, you want attractive football, and all them things have been happening to us. So we were feeling for the reason being that we're going well, because we've got a feeling that things have been going rather well, and to be in the running with 2 games to go for still a chance in Europe, albeit there'll be tough games, especially the Man City one. It's still a fantastic achievement. There's been so many records broke by this team, this set of players, that it's been just an unbelievable season, and as you know, we'll lick our wounds, especially with this one, because we probably come up with a team against a team that was slightly better on the day, but that's a learning curve, and the players will learn for that, and that's the way things are in the Premier League. You have to be so on it, it's untrue.
Well, as Pompey Dave there just asking earlier about, do you think they'd have a squad for the Premier League and Europe if they were to get there, Bournemouth? But at the end of the day, it's a squad that Bournemouth have had two players for each position if everyone was fit, but it's not the biggest squad. So in that sense, surpassed expectations, maybe looking at that squad at the start of the season, that the Cherries have got to that many points, if we're looking to
go again next season, and I'm sure we are. We'll wait and see if Europe happens or not. But as regards to next season, I'm sure there'll be some sort of recruitment. Might be 1 or 2 go out as well. But when they look around and you look at the players that we've been bringing in, Brazilians, things like that over a long period of time. I know I keep harping my back because it's just an incredible journey, incredible trip with this football club that I've had, and it's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Well, and 2 more games to go for Bournemouth now, and not another game now for 10 days for that game at Manchester City. Mind you, in the cricket as well, Hampshire, it finished earlier the second day at Trent Bridge against Nottinghamshire. Nottinghamshire 171 for 6 in their second innings. They lead Hampshire by 308 runs with 4 wickets remaining in their second innings. Hampshire all out earlier for 196 in their first innings, and we'll have commentary tomorrow, as well as Hampshire women in action against Essex. We've got commentary of both of those games on the BBC Sport app, and the men's will also be available for you on your smart speaker as well. We're reflecting to 2 games in the Solent Sport football today. 3 o'clock kickoff, Southampton 0, Manchester City 0, and Bournemouth losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. 81333 on the text, make Solent your first word, and on WhatsApp, Solent your first word, 08000 321 333 at Solent Sport on X. So Willow, Manchester City, it's a long way to wait now, isn't it? That time of the season where you think, well, they're coming thick and fast. They've got to wait 10 days now. It's a lot of time to reflect on this result, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, isn't it? That at this time of the season, when everybody's flying around gung-ho, game after game, catching up with perhaps some games that were, weathered off or that, and all of a sudden we've got to wait 10 days. I'm sure there'll be some rest and recreation on the menu, and I'm sure there'll be some work as well. But it's it seems like an opportunity, like you going into these last two games where, let's be honest, look, we used to look forward to the summer and the break, but this one seems to be going on a little bit longer, and perhaps that's because the reason being that we're in a position where we're chasing things. We're chasing record points. We're chasing Europe, goals against. There's so much stuff and records we can break with these next two games.
Well, Graham Hicks thinks Stuart Atwell had a very poor game, the referee, and Ashley Grant, Willow, we really need to find a way to play against a low block, says Ashley. It's another poor home game with little to no chance created. Need more depth for next season. And how tough was that? You know, the Aston Villa goal, the old cliche just before half time, a good time to score, 45 plus 6. And then their game management, you know, the team talk changes for them, both sides at half time, doesn't it? And Villa making it very difficult after the break.
Yeah, they did. And but you know, when you know you're coming up against a team like Aston Villa, there's a way you have to go about it. I mean, we tried to do our normal thing, which is to press them. We couldn't get in behind them, even though they held that a high line. We didn't have enough to get behind them, dropping balls over the top of them and winning races. Maybe let's look the four lads who we missed today. It's amazing how you realise how good these and how important these players are when they're injured and we can't put them out. But that's you can only play with what you got. And as you know, hard as the lads tried here today, it was against a very competent Aston Villa side, and for me, that's one of the better teams we've seen here.
You just think it might be the Cherries can build on that brilliant double save from Kepa in the first half, didn't you? Just to reflect on that was especially that first save.
Well, he was being amazing at times, and again today. I mean, the centre forwards headed it down into his feet, which is that gets you off the hook from the ball not going in the net. But he's managed to save it with his foot, then to recover again up and down right in the bottom corner with a save. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, we had two goalkeepers on show here today, although you could probably say perhaps they weren't both man of the match for their teams because they were so important to the way the game went, and they're involved in quite a lot of things as well.
Lots needs to happen if Kepa's going to come in, but make the bid now, Willow. Lock him in. Get the contract signed.
Absolutely. Don't let the season end. Don't let him out the door.
Yeah.
We need him. And look, I'm sure the powers that be will hopefully do a job on him and his wife, and we'll get him in.
You can see what it meant, though, to the players coming off, didn't you? You know, the reaction, the contrast there. Huge celebrations from Villa, who've now left here at an empty Vitality Stadium, but you know, that feeling, the big opportunity just slipped away. That body language walking off, they feel lower than they have maybe all season there at the end, Willow, the players.
Yeah, I think they can look at what's been done and what's been achieved in terms of the games and the points records, the goals. I think they have to look back and reflect on that. After the last game against Leicester, I'm sure it'll be a chance for everybody to get together, you know, for I don't know, man, whatever they want to do, drink or have a cup of tea and get the lads and everyone together to you know, talk about what they want to do for next season, how they want to be, you know, the stuff that they're going to do in pre-season. Some will be international duty, of course, and yeah, I think it'll be a time for everyone to reflect how well it's gone.
Okay, we'll get the final thoughts next from Willow, and we will hear a little bit more reaction from Southampton from earlier against Manchester City. Hampshire Cricket head coach Adi Birrell, that's on the way, and we'll try and bring you more Cherries post-match reaction next on the home of live sport across the south.
Text 81333.
Start your message with the word Solent.
Texts are charged at your standard message rate. See our privacy notice at bbc.co.uk/local radio privacy.
BBC Radio Solent.
Alan Newman at breakfast.
People getting back into astrology.
I'm a Cancerian, Alan. Do tell me all.
A boss will surprise you by what they tell you. It may be in your best interest to not make hasty decisions about your job. Any use?
No.
The world is chaotic. By joining forces with friends and colleagues, you will achieve more than you could have done on your own.
What?
That was 2 days before. That was for a Gemini.
Oh, right. That sounds a bit better. I'll have that one.
Alan Newman at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Solent. Add Solent Sport to get the latest sports news for the South.
BBC Radio Solent.
Solent Sport, BBC Radio Solent. I'm Ian Wilding, just in Warren Cummings as well, the former Bournemouth fullback there up. He's been in hospitality today. Another familiar face coming back to Vitality Stadium today. So Solent Sport, Warren Cummings there up there. Good to see him, Willow. It's a bit of a familiar face there. I think he's popping himself. He's going to be down in a second, isn't he, to come and meet you?
He used to jump over the bars, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done his best. He did think about some acrobatics. Here he comes. He's on his way. Might get an exclusive from him in a second.
Yeah, we'll get him on.
He'll get him on. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be lovely. He's on his way. He's on his way. This is an unusual exclusive here. We've got Warren Cummings here, the former Cherries left back. Warren, thanks a lot for joining us. An unusual exclusive here right at the end of Solent Sport. Nice to be back.
Very nice to be back, yeah. Obviously disappointed with the result, but really nice to be back, yes.
Yeah, I can imagine disappointment there. It puts a bit of a dampener on it, doesn't it? What's your thoughts on the Cherries' performance today?
I think the team will probably be disappointed in themselves that maybe they didn't create as much as they would have liked to have done. Villa were incredibly disciplined from a defensive aspect. There wasn't a lot in the game. Bournemouth just lacked a little bit in the final third, which they'll know. But I think while we're disappointed in the result, as we're all Bournemouth supporters, it can't take away what's going on at this football club and how good they have been for a long period of time of this season. So it is a momentary thing to not feel good about the result, but it can't shy away. This football team and this football club is impressive, really impressive.
It is, isn't it? And the camp that we're saying last week, I was saying to Willow, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? You get a win at Arsenal and you think all of a sudden, but there's nothing can take away from these results that the Cherries have picked up this season.
I mean the achievement that this football club and this football team, and I talk about the football team right now as they are, what they're doing, and normally if you got beat by Aston Villa, you should feel really okay about playing against Aston Villa. This team and this club has got so far in their journey that it's brilliant. The football club's amazing. It's in such good hands with the owner. They've got an amazing manager with a great backroom staff behind them. So I'm disappointed for the day. However, it's just a brilliant team.
We've just been saying that. On reflection, we're disappointed, but you can't let what happened earlier in the season. You have to keep your mind sort of set. Okay, there's going to be some performances that aren't perhaps what we like, but with injuries and stuff, if you can keep them away from the first team especially, then this is a great place to be.
It's an amazing place to be in, and it's only going to get. We may lose players in the summer. We probably know that, but I think the stability of the football club and what they're going to do behind it to sign new players that'll be the same players that are not the same as on the pitch right now, but players that'll make a difference again. I think it's hugely impressive, and I was gutted watching from the stand. I was really gutted. I really wanted to see a goal and the team do well. But one thing I've got to say, in terms of the tactics of the game, if I was an opposition against a Bournemouth team, if I was the manager, I would do exactly what they did. Sit off, be deep, because one thing Bournemouth want, they want space. They want space to run behind. They didn't get that today, and then that leaves you with the ball, and then you need a moment of quality.
Yeah.
And today we just didn't quite find that moment.
No, that's not the way it's been. I can just assure you, Arsenal was absolutely.
Oh, I watched that game. It was incredible.
It is the way that the team's set up and way things are absolutely amazing. And it's so good to see you.
I didn't expect to be on here right now. I came down to see you because I know that you're retiring at the end of the year. So I've been very fortunate. I've met so many people. I'm only down here for the weekend with my partner, and I'm so happy to see you, and I congratulate you for everything you've done for this football club as a player, as a coach, and as a commentator. So congratulations.
It's been an absolute pleasure in every way. So many memories over the years. I mean, starting back with Eddie, of course, and going far back as Harry as well. You know, that was my playing side of things. But yeah, this team's definitely going in the right direction. So long may it continue.
Well, there's nobody better served over such a period of time than yourself to know what Bournemouth Football Club looks like. And as I say, I congratulate you, John. Amazing man.
Thank you.
Well, it goes to show, Warren, doesn't it? Willow's had hundreds of messages since announcing the retirement last weekend on social media. It goes to show what everybody thinks of Willow.
He's just an incredible man. And one thing, legacy. You talk about legacy of people, and this football club, I believe, have legacy. And I was a very small part, very small part, Fletch. But John, and I always remember one thing, John. You were very good at your set pieces.
Yeah, I was really enjoying them. Yeah.
And Sean O'Driscoll and Eddie Howe always took a lot of opinion from John about set pieces, and they've done really well. And I think carries over. So the legacy of this football club is good people that work for the football club, good people that try their best to try and make the environment better, and John is certainly one of them.
Some lovely words, and thanks very much, Warren, for coming and joining us. Little did you know you were going to come and join us on Solent Sport, but there we are.
Thank you very much.
Stuff.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Warren.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you, Willow, as ever as well. John Williams will be back with Jordan Clark in 10 days' time at Manchester City after Bournemouth losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa, but 0-0 draw for Southampton against Manchester City. Stay tuned now, though, because if you're a Saints fan, this is a very interesting words. Ruben Diaz, just have a listen to this, the Manchester City player.
And it's obviously frustrating to play against a team like this. They don't even try anything. They just sit, and they don't even want to win the game. They just want to be there, and it's not good for the show. It's not good for themselves. It's not good for anyone. But it is what it is, and obviously the funny thing is that we do what Ramsdale did once, and it's a straight away a yellow card. He does it 20 times, and it's just play on. And obviously this slows the game, and it just helps them consistently. But anyway, we had our chances. We try and get in, try and be versatile, try and be flexible. That's our job. But yeah, it was obviously not easy to get in.
Can you understand though why Southampton played like that in their position against Manchester City?
Well, I saw a completely different team the last time we played. Yes, we can make them go down, but not like this. I don't know how many times players went on the floor, just try and waste time. I mean, it kills the rhythm of the game. Obviously, we still go against it, and we still try and look for our chances. We have to do what we must. But yeah, it's just frustrating.
Goodness me, some strong words from Diaz there. Frustrating to play a team like them. As in Southampton were those words. They don't even try to play. Well, I'm sure he probably wouldn't have been saying that if Manchester City had nicked a goal at the end, but there we go. Let's hear now, though, from Adam Smith making his 400th appearance today for the Cherries. Let's hear a little bit of that now, speaking to Jordan Clark.
Smithy was hoping this was going to be a celebration of your 400 games off the back of a big victory. It wasn't to be in the end. Let's start with the game, first of all. How do you reflect on it?
Yes, they're a really frustrating team to play against. Stop-start, we couldn't get a rhythm against them. They didn't have many chances, but the chances they had, they took. We didn't, and yeah, I felt we didn't play our best, and just very disappointed, to be honest.
Felt like the game, as you say, stop-start was broken up a lot by the referee. You like that high intensity and aggression up the pitch, but weren't allowed to get away with any of it today.
I mean, yeah, the ref didn't help, did he? But it's no surprise there. I mean, we play United and they get 9 minutes, and we play Aston Villa and we get 5, so but used to it really with the referees, and then they're just fair play to Villa. They frustrated us, and they were tactically very good, and it's probably why they're a Champions League team.
How do you look back on the goal that went in? I guess the timing of it was quite significant as well, right before the break, deep into that first half stoppage time.
Yeah, it's obviously it started from us giving the ball away, and then I kind of felt I had to foul him to stop the counter attack, and then I think it was from the free kick, and then come back out, and then I think we lost it in the corner somehow. Quite an average ball into the box, and it's good movement from Watkins, and he's just tapped it in. So probably the worst time to concede as well. Yeah, like you said.
We feel like one of those chances at the end was going to go, and it's real close, right at the death. Big save from Martinez from Semenyo.
I didn't see. I didn't see the Jebbo had a header from that as well. So I don't know if he got nudged in the back by the defender, but it's like I said before. It's they get a chance in the first half and they finish it, and we couldn't do that. So.
Adam Smith, 400 up for Bournemouth today. The full interview going up on BBC Sounds and Andoni Iraola when we get in. Simon Rusk and James Bree from the Saints Corner, and a brand new Going Home with Adam and Joe. That's all up on BBC Sounds right now. There is so much for you from today. Adi Birrell, Hampshire cricket head coach as well. That's on the way for you on BBC Sounds, and some really good live exclusive interviews yesterday with former Cherries and Portsmouth captain Jason Pearce, ex-Pompey captain Michael Doyle, and Glenn Cockrell, the former Southampton midfielder. That's all up. Tomorrow we've got commentary on the BBC Sport app of Hampshire women against Essex at Utilita Bowl in the One Day Cup, and Hampshire at Nottinghamshire Day 3 at Trent Bridge. Also on your smart speaker as well for Nottinghamshire Hampshire in the men's cricket. Next, it's Steph Newenhouse with BBC Introducing after a 6-hour bumper sports special.